top down, let it rain.
The starters, right? And we're gonna walk out, circle, stop, and okay, here we go.
Welcome, faithful followers of the green and white, to Women's Soccer Sophomore Day at Vikings Field. I have not turned the microphone on. Just a second. That's not on you, Sam. It is going out over the broadcast. Hi, folks. We got it. Welcome, faithful followers of the green and white, to Women's Soccer Sophomore Day at Vikings Field. Today's home finale pits the visiting Bear Cubs of Santa Rosa Junior College against your DVC Vikings. The Vikings are 4-9-3 on the season, coming off their first conference win on Tuesday. The Bear Cubs 12-2-2, aiming to catch Folsom Lake at the top of the Big 8 table today. Without any further ado, here are today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Bear Cubs, coached by Crystal Chaidez, assisted by Juan Arias and Taylor Brogdon. Today's captains, a sophomore forward out of Windsor, number 5, Genevieve Stewart. A sophomore midfielder and forward out of Windsor, number 6, Olivia Honstein. And a sophomore forward out of Credo, number 23, Shea Doherty. The rest of the Bear Cubs starters, a sophomore goalkeeper out of Morro Bay, number 01, Dorothy Nickel. A sophomore forward and midfielder out of Castro Valley, number 7, Paige Tauscher. A sophomore forward out of Santa Rosa, number 8, Taylor Gandy. A freshman midfielder out of Maria Carrillo, number 9, Jocelyn Rojas Garfias. A freshman midfielder out of Maria Carrillo, number 11, Mia Carra. A freshman defender and midfielder out of Montgomery, number 18, Natalie Ortiz. A freshman defender out of Annalee, number 19, Cassidy Avila. And a sophomore midfielder out of Cardinal Newman, number 24, Ashley Vigil. And now for your DVC Vikings, coached by Colleen Mullins, assisted by Sam Lubasic, Tino Takuba, Marjan Hayderi, and Alicia Palma. First, the freshmen in the starting lineup. A midfielder out of Cal, number 6, Diana Ruiz. A forward and defender out of Las Lomas, number 8, Mila Ninkovic. And a midfielder out of Doherty Valley, number 24, Maila Hicks. And now, your sophomores. The first of several Vikings that's heeded the call to play out of position in the service of their team, and no one's had to make a bigger shift. After an 18-save clean sheet against Delta, she was no longer a converted attacking mid, but instead a goalkeeper with a capital G. Out of John Sweat, number 0 at the gloves, Denise Correa. A constant sort of source of creativity and flair in the left-back role, tasked most days with also limiting an opposing team's most dangerous player. We've only gotten a year with this Pacific Union transfer, but we've enjoyed every moment of it. Out of Deanza High, number 3, Cristabel Rodas. One of the bright lights of the Vikings locker room, our next sophomore has put the lessons of her recent coaching work to work on the field, improving her tactical and positional IQ as a player, and she's wound up on the end of some of the Vikings' prettiest goals of 2024. Out of Concord, number 7, Sofia Lopez Real. Statistically, if I've been yelling a name at the top of my lungs this year, it's probably been this one. Her hard work in the weight room in the spring provided her the strength to create more space for herself in her second year, and she'd already eclipsed her 2023 goal total in less than 2 matches this year. Out of Northgate, number 9, Suhani Singh. The prodigal sophomore, returning after a 5-year gap to finish a sophomore season cut short in 2019. She's captained the side through this 2024 season. Of the 9 games in which the Vikings have scored this year, she's had a goal or an assist in 7 of them, and she's had 1 of each in 3 of them. Out of Clayton Valley Charter, oh captain, my captain, number 10, Casey Trujillo. Coming off a knee injury that deprived her of her spring training, our next sophomore got her strength back quickly and has been a monster at defensive mid from the word go. With the cleanest slide tackles this announcer's ever seen, she holds herself to a high standard and flat out competes game in, game out. Out of San Ramon Valley, the lean mean, 13 and green, Sierra Rosemont. After getting her at about 60% as she rehabbed an ACL in 2023, we finally got to see our next sophomore in full effect this season. Few sights have been more exciting than her getting out to a counter-attacking gallop down the wing to sow panic in the opposing team's defense. Out of Mount Diablo, number 17, Carol Esquivias Contreras. and one of the driving forces behind the winter workout club that united this team's sophomore class straight away after 2023. The last sophomore in our starting lineup has been a fixture since her return in mid-December. One of the pivotal moments this season came when she was improvised as a center back, a role she has filled dutifully and beautifully ever since. Out of St. Patrick's St. Vincent, number 23, Ella DiCioco. Today's officials are Dwight Maloney in the center, assisted by Francisco Manso on the player bench sideline and Prashant Modi on the spectator stand sideline. We ask that you please remove your hats now as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Through the left side, base hit! Downing is in to score! And DVC walk it off!
Chest high step. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the ball right. Has him in the middle. Intercepted! Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
Who finds Edwards? Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down!
To counterattack, here comes Carla Ramos forward looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus! And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California! Welcome, faithful followers of the Green and White, to coverage of women's soccer on DVC Vikings Live. I'm your host, Joe Hickey, joined again today by Alex Lobbin as we prepare to bring you the home finale here from Vikings Field. It is Sophomore Day, a meeting between Colleen Mullen's Vikings and the Bear Cubs of Santa Rosa Junior College. And first and foremost, Alex, pleasure to have you back on the mic with us today.
Thank you, Joe. Absolute pleasure to be back. Thank you so much.
Now, last time we took to the airwaves, the Vikings were in drought buster mode. 422 minutes without a goal, done. 12 matches without a win, not anymore. DVC picked up win number 4 of the campaign against the Sac City team that did well to resist the Green and White for about 50 minutes. Alex, how did DVC finally break through and find some joy in this one?
Well, they did great, didn't they? I mean, I think they had a good team spirit. They weren't too down about results prior to that game, and they got off to a great start. I think it's always nice when you get an early goal in the game, and then you build from there. Confidence was high, so I think that's how they did it.
All right, and as for Santa Rosa, after that victory for the Vikings midweek, they come in having had a 4-match winning streak come to an end. They played to a stalemate against Cosumnes River College, and that has got them in a specific spot here. They thought they were going to have the opportunity to take over first place by themselves as a result of Sierra and Folsom ahead of them having had their byes, but instead, today they are trying to meet up with Folsom. A victory would put them tied up at the top of the table, and we're going to bring this down and show you the field of play as well as the starting lineups, and all 8 Viking sophomores are present in that starting lineup. It's going to be Santa Rosa, however, in the pink jerseys that are going to get us underway here, and we are underway in exactly this moment. Santa Rosa in the pink over white and white road kit with nearly invisible numbers, so I'm going to have a good time with that. DVC, of course, in the home black.
Yeah, they've really done well for you there with these white numbers on the shirts, Joe. I think we've got our work cut out here, but we'll do our very best, I'm sure.
I am less than thrilled, but we'll figure it out.
We certainly will.
It is the 11 Miyakara. I like it when they're right up here at the sideline, putting a ball towards the center for the 8 Taylor Gandy. That's cut off for a moment by DVC, but back to Olivia Honstein, the number 6, and a ball over the top in search of the 23 inside there, Shea Dougherty, but that's going to take one hop to Denise.
Yeah, this is going to be a whole different game to Tuesday here. I think they're playing obviously a much stronger opposition, and they're really going to have to concentrate here.
Here's a ball forward near Trujillo. She is going to be beaten there initially, but gets back on the ball. Suhani Singh waiting for it in the 18. Casey first looking to get onto it, now slides it along the byline, and that's out for a goal kick.
Well, that's a nice positive start. I think the guys are now just got to kind of find their breath, get settled in here, and they're going to have to concentrate for, what have we got, 45 minutes here?
Yeah, it's going to have to be a real concerted effort here. The Vikings have seen their way to, at the very least, surviving some first halves against very good teams this year. They did draw Delta 0-0. They additionally were at 1-0 at about the 40th minute against Folsom Lake and did not concede to NorCal number 1 Sierra until roughly minute number 44. So DVC know how to hold their way in here. The record is rough, but the performances have really not been since the opener against American River.
Well, I think the difference is they come in also confident. You know, when you've got a win under your belt, you do come in confident, and you can see that straight away. They look they're ready to go. The challenge is now, you know, can they concentrate enough to keep these guys out? Because they're obviously used to scoring quite a lot of goals, I'm guessing. So, again, concentration levels have got to be high, and they've got to stay in this as long as they can. Try and keep a clean sheet for as long as they can.
Yeah, Santa Rosa in particular coming in with a record of 12-2-2, as that one is going to find Suhani Singh offside. Play comes to an end here, stopped by our near side assistant referee. We got Dwight Maloney in the center, and over here it's Francisco Manso. Across the way, Prashant Modi.
That was a fairly easy decision for him. I don't think Suhani anticipated they'd play such a high defensive line in that one, but they were right on cue there.
Speaking of that defensive line, Mila Ninkovic meeting that with the head. She had a lovely game on Tuesday. This high ball over the top is going to find the feet of Gandy trying to get turned, and it is Ninkovic again in 8-on-8 action, able to block that out for what will be today's first corner.
Well, very finely pointed out. She did have a great game on Tuesday, and that's a nice start. An excellent tackle to see it out of play there. That's a nice, tidy start. Now off this corner, there needs to be a lot of organisation. Who's marking who? Looks like they're in a zone there in front of the goalkeeper. Need to be first to the ball here off this cross.
In previous games, Casey Trujillo has been a good bet to get the first touch to the ball. She's close up. We'll see if it's her. It is over the top of her. Bouncing about inside the 18. A wild swing by Taylor Gandy, and that's going to wind up well over the top on the first shot today.
Well, that's good. You don't want to concede a super early goal. So, again, hopefully we can set up now. I'm going to keep using the word concentration. That's what it's going to take for the first 45 minutes here.
You know, leading up to a DNP against Sac City, and of course the scoreless draw the other day. Before that, Gandy had scored in 3 of 4 matches on the run. And Santa Rosa had done some really heady work after a loss in the opener of Big 8 play. They won their next 4 in a row before the draw against CRC. That one's out the back and will be another corner kick after a slide challenge.
Yeah, I think Choco cleared that one, and she's going to need to have another great game. I think she did excellent, as I was pointing out on Tuesday. I was just chatting to Coach about her performance on Tuesday earlier on, and she's going to need a big game today to keep these guys out.
Corner kick to be taken by somebody wearing pink. Heaven knows that one is going to hit the side netting and had already, of course, exited the field of play. No danger there. Denise Correa will goal kick this one away in just a moment.
Yep, always happy with that. And they take a corner and it goes in, and then it just swings out. You don't even have to defend it. So I'm sure DVC will be happy with that one.
I'm sure there's a point, though, in the middle of that trajectory where you're like, oh, please not an Olympico.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Got a foul here committed by Santa Rosa in the contest for the 50-50.
Yeah, I think they just got a little push there as the ball was in the air. She got a 2-arm push there. That's an easy foul for the referee to give.
Taken quickly by Rosemont, and that's going to be a whiff by the defender. Comes to Esquivias. Her ball in, headed away. That'll go over the back line. DVC have their first corner.
Well, that's great. They used the free kick to their advantage. Got the ball early into a wide area, crosses into the box, and then pick up a corner. I think now, can we get good delivery again? I think we saw a number of corners on Tuesday, and the first few were under hit severely. Then we got a good couple towards the end, so hopefully we can get a good delivery into the center of the goal here and something to attack.
I was about to say we saw that action of a very quickly taken free kick to create goal number 3 on Tuesday. So good signs there. This will be taken by Esquivias. This is falling near the dot. Out comes the keeper, gets a small punch to it. Looks like that's coming back to DVC. Kept in there at the left side. Ruiz, a good touch around. She'll fire, and that is DVC's first shot. Rather, Cristobal Rodas with that one from distance. First shot on frame here of today's game.
That was a good cross in at the end there. I'm not sure why we couldn't get a shot off on target there. It looked like a very good chance until right at the end there.
Ball claimed here and immediately uproot one looking for Dougherty. Ninkovic gets there and it's blocked by Correa. Came up off her body. Able to get it away.
I think that's where you can see our goalkeeper was an outfield player. She's come with the feet and not with the hands there. So it's, I mean, fair play. She's our goalkeeper, so we'll take it. But you've got to come with your hands there and be a little bit cleaner on that. That could have resulted in a disaster there.
Yeah, good news there that Ninkovic managed to provide just enough space for that kind of closure. All's well that ends well.
Ninkovic has got to understand where her central defenders are there, because for me she looked a little deeper than them. That's why the player was onside as they ran through there. She's got to make sure she takes her line and position off the 2 central defenders.
Giving Ninkovic a little bit of space, but she's going to dribble back in retro here rather than try to take it. Hicks back to DeChoco. Up ahead here, Rosemont at the midfield stripe. That's blocked as the double team comes. Mia Carra able to take that, and it's now Honstein. Up ahead again looking for Dougherty, and again it's going to have to be Correa coming out of her own box to clear it away. Yeah,
she's a good position for the goalkeeper there. She's in a great position to get off her line and clear that. The defenders are going to need that. You can see the number 23 up here, Shea Dougherty. She looks like she's pretty quick. She's playing off the shoulder of the defender. She looks to be the danger for me.
Well, that is the top scorer in Big 8 play so far this season, 11th in the 3C2A with 14 goals in 16 games.
Well, I'm pleased I can still identify a little bit of talent after all these couple of years off the coaching field, Joe. I'm happy with that.
That's the key there. She absolutely passes the eye test right out of the gate, and she's signaling for a ball from the 18, Ortiz. That one's cleared away, and Ruiz comes down with it. She'll drop that back to Rodas. Up ahead to Lopez Real, who was a late insertion into the starting lineup, giving the Vikings, as we said, all 8 of their sophomores in the starting lineup. The sole starting freshmen today are Ruiz, Ninkovic, and where'd she go? Ruiz, Ninkovic, and I said it before, Hicks, of course, Maela Hicks. We get another year of Maela Hicks. I'm really thrilled about that. I've enjoyed her this season.
That's awesome. Yeah, we were anticipating Lopez Real not starting today, so obviously something changed in the warm-up.
Yeah, Coach Mullins said she saw a little spark out of Sophia that she'd been looking for the last couple of games, and to finally spot it, she said that was absolutely something worth being rewarded. Sophia, of course, got the goal late in Tuesday's encounter to really remove all doubt, launched forward by a newly returned Miki Miyazaki for her first assist as a collegiate.
Yeah, she seems like she's been a really bright start for Lopez Real, so let's hope she's ready for it.
Looking to go route one again. It's Gandy with Dougherty flanking her. She will chase that down near the byline, last touched by Pink. And that'll be a DVC goal kick.
Yeah, you can see straight away the pace Santa Rosa have got here out of the 2 of their forward players is going to be a real challenge for the DVC backline. They're going to have to work really strongly as a 4, be connected and keep their line really sort of on point there so that they can kind of use this offside to their advantage.
The goal kick is going to be kept in here by Santa Rosa, squared up looking for a shot. That is fired towards the left side of the cage but will not find the target.
Yeah, that gives us DVC a chance to settle down here now and just kind of regroup, kind of figure out who you're marking and then go again.
Yeah, the 50-50 balls have been a little bit of a challenge, and every now and again a goal kick just comes out a bit shorter than you're anticipating. Of course, a lot of wind here today, too. At the moment, it has just calmed down, but in warm-ups, it was considerable. Rosemont looking to spring Trujillo up the right side, but easily having that covered is Cassidy Avila, freshman out of Annalee.
Yeah, I think Santa Rosa also they've got plenty of pace in the back line as well, so it's going to have to be some clever soccer from DVC to break through. They're not going to go and win it in a straight-out race, that's for sure.
That one is going to be blocked and straight back out off the body of Shea Dougherty, and it'll be DVC ball here at the near sideline. Ninkovic forward looking for Trujillo. Held by Ortiz. Forward now for Dougherty, trying to get turned around Hicks. Manages to force that pass into the center where DeChoco's lurking.
Yeah, they're going to have to stay very tight on Dougherty to mark. She runs right on the line there. It's only going to take one through ball to get her in on goal, so they're going to have to concentrate again and watch her movement and stay close.
That was the 24 Ashley Vigil on that. Not a whole lot of pressing on DVC's defensive line. I think Santa Rosa content to let the Vikings try to develop something and snuff it out a little further up the pitch. Forward here again for Vigil. Again trying to slide one through a gap between the center backs. Resisted by the duo of Hicks and DeChoco.
Yeah, I think Hicks is got to make sure that she has one eye on the ball and one eye on Doherty. For me, she seems to get very much drawn towards the ball, trying to obviously stop that, but Doherty's then running off her shoulder and she can be through on goal. She's got to make sure that she sees the ball and the player and make sure that protects that space behind her.
There's a giveaway in the midfield, cleaned up by Rosemont. Ladles that over the left side in search of Suhani Singh. Back to chase that down will be the 7, Paige Tauscher.
I think the difference, you think how much Suhani had the ball on Tuesday early on in the game. She was getting the ball almost every play. Now she's barely had a touch, so the challenge is, can DVC get her the ball? She's our goal scorer, so we got to try and provide her some service.
Again trying to get through that channel for Doherty, and it's Ninkovic with the last moment poke away as Doherty tried to get off the hip of Maila Hicks. Ball claimed over at the right side, and it is going to be out as they tried to tiptoe the sidelines, but the flag up from Mr. Modi.
I think anytime we get a goal kick or a throw-in or a free kick, I think DVC also needs to kind of slow it down. It's going to spend a lot of time working, chasing this ball against a team who are top of the league. I think if you can, obviously within the rules and laws of the game, you can slow it down a little bit and kind of catch your breath and regroup. That's going to help as well. There's no need to rush. The onus is on Santa Rosa to come and win this. So there's no need to rush for DVC. I would just try and take your time on these restarts.
Yeah, that was the discussion I had with Sam Lubasic pre-kickoff, was the reminder that no, they drew on Tuesday, so they're not number one yet. If they want to be, they've got to go through us. And DVC have enjoyed every now and again playing that role of, if nothing else, the obstacle. Speaking of which, Miladinkovic, the obstacle, pushes that one away. Vigil comes back up with it, tries to ladle it to the right side. This time it's Roda stepping up.
It's a fairly decent start, I think, for DVC. They're getting to grips with it, but there's some challenges out there they've got to deal with right now, and it's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of energy. Can they keep this energy up? It requires soccer, such high levels of fitness, especially when you're up against a team that are, in a higher position than you.
Hicks did well to resist Vigil there. Trujillo puts on the pressure, and it's an errant pass. Cleaned by Lopez Real. Speaking of errant pass, though, intercepted by Doherty, looking for the run up the left side of Gandhi. She'll look to feed Carra. Here comes Mia Carra. Out to challenge her is Ninkovic. She'll slide this in on the ground, and DeChoco will escort it over the back line.
That's the challenge with soccer. All of a sudden when you get tired because you're running so hard and you get the ball and your mind gets tired, and then you give away cheap possession. It's easy to sit here and look at how we should do this, should do the other, but once you've actually got out there and played and ran around, it's a lot harder when your lungs are on fire because you're chasing these guys.
No doubt. This one's going to take one big hop in the direction of Trujillo. That'll institute a quick foot race between Singh as well as Lopez Real and the opposing 7, Tauscher. Cleaned up by Santa Rosa. Ball forward is blocked for a moment by the DVC player Rodas. Now a ball forward, intercepted by Sierra Rosemont. Going back over the left side, looking for Sophia, but that's out the sideline.
It's fairly direct from Santa Rosa. They seem to want to get the ball forward nice and quickly along the floor and into the space for Doherty to chase, which is understandable. That's where the threat is. They're trying to progress the ball to her quickly.
We'll take a look here. We've been alluding to the stakes of today's game. Sierra on Tuesday took their bye, and Santa Rosa crawled up to within a point of them. Folsom Lake on their bye today, and Sierra will have a chance later on tonight against, later on today against ARC to try to retake the number 1 spot. But the circled date on the calendar is Tuesday. Sierra at Santa Rosa. That is likely to decide the number 1 seed if Santa Rosa come out victorious today. Here's a ball swept in. It's going to be Carra, picked off there by a flying Carla Esquivias. She goes to ground under a challenge, and it's going to be a DVC free kick out of what looked like a real good opportunity on goal, Alex.
She's done really well to get back there and cover that, because I think as soon as they got the ball and got the cross in, you're thinking, hang on, there's a shot on goal here. So I don't even know where Carol came from then. She just came out of nowhere. She must still have a Marvel costume on from Halloween, and she's zoomed there and stopped the ball. It's very good.
Yeah, I believe it's Bamf, I think is the Nightcrawler sound, right? I think from my perspective at least, she was hiding behind the considerable frame of our team photographer, Josh Chizar. So I think that's why I missed her, but very impressive stuff there. Not where you'd expect to see her, but Johnny on the spot.
She's done very well there. We certainly needed her to go and clear that, otherwise it would have been a big problem.
Ninkovic doing really well to shield off Miyakara, and her last touch takes it over the back line as well. Just a little over a quarter of an hour gone here in Pleasant Hill, 0-0 on DVC Vikings Live. Decent presence of fans across the way, but we're glad to have you, especially those of you talking to us on the YouTube chat. Brendan Bush, as ever here, cheering on Sierra Rosemont, and Max Agress, legend, over there. DVC football and basketball announcer, and all-around great guy. Looking forward to doing some calls with him a little bit later once we get through the fall semester. Another foul committed here and a free kick for the Vikings.
The Vikings now have got to try and get some kind of possession of this game, get on the ball. Can we connect a few passes? Because it's going to be unsustainable just to keep chasing this and chasing Santa Rosa around. They've got to try and get on the ball and get a little bit of a foothold in the game.
It was a bounce that nearly favored Suhani Singh in her battle with Jocelyn Rojas Garfias, the opposing 9. Good work by the Santa Rosa center back, though, and throw in to come here in just a moment out of the defensive zone for Santa Rosa.
Yep, we want to try and stay in their half here. Can we put pressure on the ball, get some challenges in, and try and keep in Santa Rosa's half for a little bit? That will help.
Of course, a lot of time spent in the opposing half on Tuesday. That 4-0 victory over Sacramento City, breaking a ton of droughts that had been weighing on the green and white up to that point.
Well, yeah, I'd heard all the bad news, and then I turned up. It was a 4-0 victory. It seemed pretty... I didn't know what all the fuss was about, Joe.
Quick throw-in taken here, and it's Shea Dougherty up the right side, looking to go over the top of Correa, and it's just going to go a little wide and over the back line before Carra can get there to clean up the garbage.
Yeah, that was less than convincing from our goalkeeper there. She looked a little nervous as that ball went sort of over her head. It didn't even seem that high, so she's got to be really on her toes and ready to go jump and catch those crosses. That was a pretty straightforward one for me.
Dougherty springing from a slightly different position. We've largely seen her going straight between the center backs. That time around, fed on a throw-in up the right side.
Yeah, if we keep her in wide areas, that's better than running through the middle, that's for sure.
Esquivias doing well to resist Carra there. Ninkovic back to Hicks, and she'll fire that out in our direction.
Great
Esquivias.
control, well done.
I do hope, yeah, okay. I was just checking to see if the camera caught that, and it absolutely did. Up ahead to Trujillo on the right side. That'll be shepherded.
Fantastic ability. She just took that out of the air right in front of us, controlled it. She's beat a player and gone. That's fantastic. She'll want to watch that back. That was excellent.
Yeah, Carol has got that skill in her boots. Haven't gotten to see as much of it as we'd like in some of the tougher matchups, but really seemed to be expressing herself the last few games. Was the author of the counterattack that nearly got DVC back within a goal against Folsom Lake a couple of Tuesdays ago, and we saw her speed on full display on that one.
Ball's gone out of play here, so that's nice. A chance to kind of set up again in Santa Rosa's half and try and keep the ball down this end of the field would be nice.
Mila Ninkovic up for the throw-in. She's going to try to feed Esquivias or Singh up the right side. That's popped up by the Santa Rosa defense, still bouncing about. Esquivias gets ahead to it, cleared from in front of Ruiz. Dougherty takes it down, shows too much of that to Rosemont, who tumbles over Dougherty, and the foul is, no, it's not a foul. It's going to be a check of the head, as Carol Esquivias did seem to have a bit of a clash there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the challenge. I think the referee's just erring on the side of caution there. He sees an injury and wants to make sure that the player gets taken care of, which is nice of him.
Certainly on that bounding ball, Carol went up for the header against a Santa Rosa defender, and yeah, you definitely want to be careful with those head-to-head challenges.
Sure.
Rosemont checking on her.
It worked out quite well for DVC there. I think Doherty had actually won the challenge and was about to spring towards that the DVC goal, so it worked out well. We've got the stoppage there and can kind of take breath and set up again.
Yeah, about 20 minutes gone in this matchup here, 0-0 so far. We'll take a look at where these teams stand in the playoff race. Santa Rosa, with their draw against CRC, oddly enough, a draw on the road against a team that is sitting well over 500, still progresses you forward. Santa Rosa currently the number 6 team in NorCal on the PowerPoints. Folsom and Sierra, who the Vikings faced last week at 1-3. And then you got Modesto, CR, and Delta, and those are the teams that if you're DVC, you're kind of looking at at who you might face in the first round of the Big 8 tournament, and then in the following rounds. If you don't win that first one, that's going to probably be against the number 1 team in the conference. You are looking at Modesto, CR, Delta as the likely teams you face in the consolation bracket. And the good news for DVC is there are a few teams in there with decent records. You go out, you play them on the road, you could make some advancing. The Vikings have a bit of room to make up to try to get themselves into postseason qualification. But the great thing about the Big 8 is it's always there in front of you just because of the sheer quality of the teams you're going up against.
Yeah, it's a good challenge today against a very good team. I think it's, again, the challenge will be to try to maybe get a point out of this and try and keep a clean sheet. But it's going to be, we've got 25 minutes left in this half and a whole nother half. So it's, again, it's going to take a lot of energy, a lot of effort. And as I keep saying, concentration here. It's going to be a long game, but it's a big challenge ahead of them.
Well, good news. Up under her own power and heading over to get a little more attention at the training table is Carol Esquivias, accompanied by Brie Minor. So we'll get things back underway here in just a moment with about a minute-and-a-half stoppage there.
Oh, well, I've lost my roster there. You did say it was windy, Joe. You weren't lying.
Well, luckily for us, as Miki Miyazaki comes on to replace Carol Esquivias on the pitch, luckily for us, we've got enough of a forest of electronics in order to bring you today's broadcast that a little bit of it caught caught Alex Lobin's notes.
It's okay, I'm back here.
Now, windy day, definitely the chilliest day we've had here as Maela Hicks steps on the ball trying to challenge for that and then takes it right away from the Santa Rosa player. Good stuff for Maela.
Excellent, yeah, she's done well there to win the ball back. A little slipped over, got up and got on with it.
The ball forward in search of Singh. The clearance is off of Lopez Real, bounding near the sideline. That's escorted out by Tauscher. I was about to say with Hicks there in battle with Shea, that's the Dougherty Valley product against Dougherty.
Yeah, I think DVC will be trying to get Carol back on here, and she was playing so well. I think they'll be eager to get her back in the action. She looks like she's okay. She's up on her feet, moving around. That's good news.
Yep, I see a smile. So that's certainly encouraging as we see Diana Ruiz in pursuit of the ball here in the back of the midfield for Santa Rosa. Long touch, almost showed it to Miyazaki. Comes to Dougherty, who now gets this forward, cut off by Ninkovic and manages to find Hicks. Clears that to anywhere, and Miyazaki will try to keep Miyakara penned in over here at the sideline as she works to the left wing. Crossed in towards the penalty dot, just shy of Dougherty. Reached out, couldn't quite get a touch to it, and it ends up with Correa.
I really think Ninkovic needs to look at her positioning. I saw it earlier on. She keeps dropping behind her central defenders, which as a fullback's always going to be a problem. She's going to create more space for Santa Rosa to run through. So she, again, has got to get a starting position level with her central defenders. They've got to communicate across that back line.
No, exactly. You leave that space behind, and you're now, as a forward, allowed to be back there instead of having to ride that line.
Yeah, and they're so fast. They've got so much speed up top that you're going to need to be together so you can use the offside to your advantage, you know?
Trujillo chasing a ball over at the far sideline. So we're going to have the slight challenge. Yesterday we couldn't hear any of the whistles from, or Tuesday rather, any of the whistles from the match official. Today we're going to be hearing auxiliary whistles as Trujillo was already in an offside position. The flag up, and Dwight Maloney's seen it now. But we've got a water polo NorCal crossover going on behind us at the Aquatic Center. So we're going to hear the occasional whistle in our headphones that has nothing to do with this game. So, you know, I guess they just migrated over here in time from Tuesday, Alex.
Yep, no doubt. I would like to see that one again there, the offside call. I know she came from an offside position, but when the ball was played, I don't know. I'm sure this gentleman has a far better perspective than I by about 10 yards, but we'll see. Maybe we'll review that one later.
This one over the top. It's going to fall for Dougherty. Out comes Correa, but Dougherty has scored, and Santa Rosa, rather, have taken the lead here in minute number 24.
Yeah, that's always going to be the danger with Dougherty. You can see what a threat she is, and it's only a half chance, really. We didn't fail to clear the ball, and now Santa Rosa go 1-0 up. It becomes, you know, a little bit more challenging for DVC. Then mentally, they're going to have to stay focused here.
Oh, dear heavens. We're going to take that little thing down because I've just had it shown to me that I did not update the graphic. It's still Santa Rosa's, or Sacramento City's logo, rather, on there. So, whoops. We're going to get a few things right here on the scoreboard and then let the assembled masses know about it. Santa Rosa goal in minute number 24. Number 23, Shea Dougherty, is scoring for the Bear Cubs, who now lead 1-0. I knew there was something I was forgetting. We got a lot of bells and whistles on this one. We got spiders hanging from the scoreboard. We got a few videos that we're going to show over the course of today's action. That was, of course, the thing I forgot is I never updated the the caption to be for Santa Rosa. So we're just going to leave that out over the course of today.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that goal going in now because it's, it's always when you concede a goal, kind of heads can drop a little bit. But here we go. This is a good opportunity here.
And here is Lopez Real inside for Singh. Got a touch to it. Not enough. Still alive. And Lopez Real can't get to it.
Yeah, there's a foul on the goalkeeper there. I think that the cross was good. That would have been an excellent opportunity to try and get back in this game if we could have got a goal. It was a great move, but a little bit too enthusiastic trying to get the ball off the goalkeeper.
And it looks like we're going to need a substitution here as Sofia Lopez Real is on the deck and unable to rise. Sofia, of course, with the goal late in the encounter on Tuesday. Suhani with the goal that started things on Tuesday, and the two of them trying to get one past Dorothy Nickel. He's got a .85 goals against average this season.
Well, that's promising from DVC there. I mean, to create probably the first real opportunity of the game for DVC to get a shot on target. That's promising. I think that's where there could be a little bit of joy for the team. I think get the ball in these wide areas. That seems to be perhaps a little area where Santa Rosa might be a little bit weaker. I mean, there's not much. They're a pretty strong team, but that's where the opportunity is coming from, those wide areas.
Well, I had credited DVC with one other shot on goal at this point, the one from Rodas from distance, because it did look like that was actually on the frame, even as Nickel came out to claim it. But your statistical reset at the moment, Santa Rosa leading on shots 3-2. DVC actually leading in shots on goal 2-1. That was the first one that had gotten on frame from the Bear Cubs that ended up in the back of the net. 3 fouls committed so far, all by Santa Rosa. 2-1 the corner kick count. Of course, 1-0 Bear Cubs, the count that matters on the scoreboard. Doherty in the 24th.
I think it was a tidy finish, wasn't it? I think the ball dropped out. She got it under control well, and it's a clever little finish under the goalkeeper. It was well done, you got to say.
No, absolutely. And with that 15th goal of the season, we'll have to see where that pushes her in terms of the goal-scoring table. As we mentioned, 11th in the 3C2A. You got a handful of folks in conferences like the Bay Valley that are just absolutely running up the totals on some of the lower teams in that conference. And as a result, you've got some people over there that have 20-odd goals already at this point in the season.
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to be up there as one of the leading goal scorers, if not the leading goal scorer, just from the brief amount of soccer I've seen her play so far.
Just about ready to get underway again here as Dorothy Nickel seems to be in good shape, and we'll see here now. Carol Esquivias is going to return to the action in place of Lopez Real, so one injured player back in, another one off for a moment.
Yeah, as a coach, you're always somewhat frustrated when one of your starting players is off the field when you concede a goal. You're kind of thinking, oh, hang on a second, we were all set, everything was going good, you get that injury, she has to come off, and then you concede. As a coach, you're always wondering, well, if I'd have had my strongest group out there, would we have conceded? These little things count.
Well, and we had just seen Esquivias able to resist an earlier attempt, kind of coming out of nowhere. Here's another ball in. That's going to be headed somewhat clear by Rosemont, held by DeChoco.
Yeah, exactly. She was taking her defensive.
Whoa, rip from distance there that is not quite going to find the frame, but off the boot, it was pretty much a cross your fingers and hope it misses for DVC fans. Yeah,
I think she got hold of the ball, didn't she? But I think it went pretty fairly wide, didn't it? And I don't think the goalkeeper looked too concerned about it.
I believe that was the 15 Taylor Sittner who came in during one of the earlier stoppages. And Santa Rosa again bringing down a ball at an opportunity here. Stuck in the feet of the 5. Forward for Dougherty. Out comes Correa. And she makes herself big and takes that away.
Excellent save from Correa there. She's got off her line really well and got down and made it difficult for Doherty to try and get that ball past her again. So well done. Credit to her.
It was Genevieve Stewart who did eventually get the ball forward into position for Dougherty to pounce on it, but also had it stuck in her feet for a little bit. There's a shoulder charge there as Rosemont takes the ball away and then absorbs contact for the 4th Santa Rosa foul.
I think the weather conditions might have something to play on this game. The wind, as you can probably tell from the camera, is picking up behind us. It's going to make a little bit of difference here as the ball goes up into the air. It's going to cause difficulties for the defenders.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know that we've had a day this windy with this AI camera. I don't know what happens if it starts swaying. I'm sure that the little robot inside, the little hamster on the wheel, starts to freak out. But for the time being, we still have pictures. That's good news. Ball forward here. That's an interesting one. Dropped in and popped up with the head of a defender. It's going to be Avila managing to clear that from in front of Singh. DVC will have a throw in the attacking third.
Yeah, Sohani hasn't seen much of the ball. She hasn't seen, she's gone running after to grab the ball for the throw-in there. I think she wants the ball that much. She's chasing the throw-ins here when she just needs to get in the middle of the park. But she's probably frustrated when she's not getting much of the ball. So we need to try and find ways to get these crosses in for her.
Sitting there like, I need to feel it.
Yep. Sometimes you do. You haven't seen the ball. You got to go get the thing.
That takes a funky hop and nearly makes that a very challenging clearance. Rosemont able to frustrate the attempt to escape on one opportunity. Here goes forward, though. Ninkovic in the foot race with Stewart, and Correa will come out and clear it from her feet. Pops up on Sittner. That ends up being a fantastic settle. And here comes Santa Rosa the other way, looking for Carra. Does that have enough curl to stay in play for her? And it does not. The flag up and the throw-in to come here for the Vikings.
Yeah, a little bit all over the place there. The back four, they weren't quite ready for that through ball. Both the central defenders are too far shifted over, and they really need to kind of get their composure back, get their line back together, and get organised here.
Throw in over the head of DVC's Diana Ruiz. Comes to Carra. Miyazaki showing it. There's Rosemont coming up to close and avoid the turn on the 18. Ball forward, advantage being played currently, and a ball looped toward the right side into no man's land. That's going to go straight over the back line. Goal kick and some substitutions coming up here for Santa Rosa. Gandy will come back in, and Caitlin Seawright, the number 22, will enter for her first action.
I think despite Santa Rosa's dominance of this game in terms of territory, they're in the DVC half most of the game. There's not been that many shots on target, as you pointed out. There's only one, I think, from the goal perhaps. There's been very little on target. It's kind of over the crossbar, wide, out. So they'll be trying to sort their finishing out here, I would think.
Well, certainly very little through just a little over a half hour here. Two for DVC, the one maybe cross, maybe shot, and then the sort of confused opportunity down at the other end right after the Santa Rosa goal. Here's a ball forward looking for Trujillo to try to put the run in. She's gotten off the hip of the defender. Casey fires it on the ground, a diving save. And Dorothy Nickel stops DVC's third shot on goal today.
I'd just like to try to see her get a little bit closer there, maybe try and shift it onto a stronger foot and have a go with that right foot. We know she's got so much more power on that right foot. For DVC, this is a great opportunity when they need to score. Doherty's been subbed out here. She just ran by us and she's sat down. So the central defenders have a chance to have a little bit of a breather and kind of get adjusted again. And this is the period of the game now where DVC need to take advantage of it when the Santa Rosa star player's off on the sideline. That's it.
This is sprung out towards Mia Carra, but chasing it down is Ninkovic, continuing to pressure Mila. Flag stays down from the AR, but Mila just about gives that away. Hicks comes away with it. Now it's going to come forward and be flicked in towards the box. Brought down there by the 6. Gets it onto her left, fires, and just does miss the top left corner a little high.
The most disappointing thing about that is Ninkovic's reaction. She's given the ball away, but she's bent down and hit the ground with her hands. You just got to go chase the ball. There's no point standing here and looking frustrated. You got to get your head down and then chase that thing. She's been such a good player this week, but that's not the reaction you want. You give a bad pass, you get your head down, you run and go help your teammates. That's what we've got to do.
Santa Rosa with more substitutions. Their roster not quite as long as a Sierra or a Folsom Lake, but not trivial either. Kati Faybush comes in, the number 3, as well as the 10, Sulema Parasolorio.
It's a wonderful opportunity for Santa Rosa to get the second, but again, their finishings let them down there. Over the bar again.
Yeah, 5th shot so far for Santa Rosa, and they've just put the one on frame and that one in the back of the net. So it's worked out for them, but certainly wasting opportunities to build a bigger advantage against the team that's known so far for hanging around in these sorts of games.
Yeah, I think with these substitutions, what Santa Rosa do get is freshness, right? These guys have been sitting on the sideline, they come on, they get 10 minutes to go run around as hard as they can, but the quality's not going to be quite as strong, right? I think a lot of the starters have come off here and sat by us. So again, I do think this is a good opportunity for the Vikings to try and get a foothold in this game.
Suhani Singh laying it back in a collision there as Esquivias tried to hold on to it. Ball taken away by the Santa Rosa player. Esquivias with the pressure, rather Rosemont, correction, able to escort that out. But man, oh man, that was a coming together.
I think Sierra's looking at the referee like for some help. Like, hey, can you give me a free kick here? But no, it was a good, strong challenge, I think. And you got to, again, the only reaction is to get up and get running and carry on with the game. We've got to focus on the game.
I always say play through the whistle. That's a nice little knock on, and it's going to come to Trujillo. The goalkeeper hasn't come. Casey is not quite going to be able to beat her there.
The goalkeeper's done very well to hang on to that because Casey was almost through on goal there. Fortunately, again, it's on her left side. We want to get a chance to spin one back onto her right foot and try and have a go at it. It's more encouraging, though, for the Vikings.
Oh, absolutely. They're starting to find some holes in that back line. Speaking of which, Santa Rosa looking for one. The header forward from C right. Dealt with by DVC, and it's out for a Viking throw here with about 10 minutes left in first half action.
I think Ninkovic has got to kind of get herself regrouped here and get back to doing what she does best, is kind of win those challenges, get on the ball, complete some passes. She's looking a little bit panicked there again.
Yeah, a lot of bounding balls, and I don't know if the wind has been anything in the way of a factor here in terms of altering the trajectory of any of them, but certainly it seemed like the Vikings have had their moments of panic at the back.
Yeah, especially when the ball's in the air, you know, when you got add the wind into it, it's moving in unusual ways. You've got to deal with it early.
Nearly taken away by Ruiz. DVC challenging for it. Ball dropped back, and now it will come to the Vikings. Ruiz forward in the direction of Trujillo. Two defenders on it. Look out. A bit of miscommunication at the back. Casey almost shoots the gap.
Yeah, the Santa Rosa central defender done well there to control it and bring it out.
There's a ball up the left side for C right. Hicks gets the touch to it. Trying to use Miki Miyazaki over there. Two Santa Rosa players come to it. It's finally cleared away.
Yeah,
Throw-in will go DVC's way.
Yeah, Hicks has done well there. Strong, aggressive, got it out in the end and focused on it. That's what she needs to do for the rest of this game.
Yeah, for all the trouble that the Vikings defense has had so far, as we mentioned, DVC with the lead in shots on goal at the moment, albeit not the level of danger on their chances. And it's only 1-0. And so at this point here for the Vikings, I think the order number one is get to halftime without conceding again.
Absolutely, that is the case. There's a few people looking a little bit tired out here.
Yeah, DVC with a short bench as always. Miyazaki available, as well as Rubel, Walden, and Rodriguez. That is as far as the cupboard goes.
Yeah, we haven't seen Rubel yet, have we? We saw plenty of her in action on Tuesday, but yet to take the field and get her physical presence in this game. Be interesting to try and get her out there at some point if she's fit.
Too big of a first touch for Ruiz, and the ball comes free here to Santa Rosa. It's C right over to the left side for Carra. Centrally now for the 18 Ortiz, and that's going to give time for Sierra Rosemont to come through and make that challenge. She takes it away, launches it forward, and Casey Trujillo again in a foot race, but that ball's just a bit too long. Out comes Nickel.
Again, we're almost waiting for the whistle there. She's tackled and she stands up looking around. It's a great tackle. Just good tackle, get on the ball, go play.
So Natalie Ortiz stays down. It looks like we will have a stoppage here as the referee brings folks over to check on her. As a reminder, if you've joined us late in the going here, there is your recap. DVC trailing 1-0 on the goal by Shea Doherty, her 15th of the season, back in minute number 24. But otherwise, as we've said, Vikings putting together opportunities, getting some shots. They've been a little bit far away on most of them, though, so far. Haven't really had that great look inside the 18.
They need to consider the service as well we're giving to the forward. You just saw there, you know, we've won the ball. Sierra's won the ball, and then she's clipped the ball into the space. Well, Casey's really, that's not her game. Like, she needs to give the ball to her feet, right? She can play with the ball to her feet. So I think Sahani for me is more the runner. Play her into the space for the ones she can chase and get the ball into Casey's feet so she can control it and deal with the ball. You can't just kick it down the line and hope she's going to get there.
Drop ball will put things back into play here, where we've only got technically 6 minutes and 46 seconds on the board, but more than likely a good 3 or 4 minutes, I would have to imagine, of added time after this for the injuries to Esquivias and now Ortiz. I think we had a stoppage there for Sofia as well. So that's going to be blocked and held in the attacking zone for a moment, but slicing out toward the left. Paige Tauscher has it tracked.
If some of my commentary sounds harsh to those listening or watching, just understand it all comes from love. I'm a coach. I want them to understand that. Hopefully if they watch it back, it's all just opinions, and you want hopefully to learn from it. It's not a criticism per se. It's more constructive. Just as a point, I was just thinking that if people's kids are playing, the parents are watching, they're like, who is this guy? I don't
Well, we'll give your bona fides for a moment here. This is former DVC assistant coach Alex Lobin and 2016 National Assistant Coach of the Year back in the year that the Vikings made the state final. So The man's got the bona fides, and we bring him on to hear this sort of stuff because, admittedly, I'm basically a really loud cheerleader most of the time, and it's hard to get the full view of everything when you've got to focus on the person who has the ball, especially when they're wearing a jersey with white numbers on like bright carnation pink. So
that's certainly not helping today. Figure out who's who on this Santa Rosa team, but we'll ask them to get some dark numbers on those shirts for next year.
Yeah, navy blue. That's one of your colors. Use it, please.
Yes, please. Requests.
Commentators are begging. Oh, goodness gracious. It beats the heck out of black on black like the old Delta jerseys, so I can only complain so much. I can actually make these out.
It could be worse.
Yes, without doubt. Here's Avila. Miyazaki gets a touch, and now Trujillo will take it away. Ninkovic forced back by Seawright to Hicks.
I think we got about 5 minutes or just over 5.
That's a little loose here. Taylor Gandy, and it's a giveaway of a goal for DVC in the 41st minute, and that is absolute horror for Maila Hicks. That is not what they were intending at all.
That's difficult when you've worked so hard to keep it at 1-0 and keep yourself in the game. You know, they've concentrated to this point, as I said, with just that lapse of concentration. You make a mistake, and it ended up being a really easy opportunity for Santa Rosa there, unfortunately. And the ball's gone out here for a throw. We'll see if the DVC guys can regroup here.
Santa Rosa goal in minute number 41. Number 8, Taylor Gandy. Her 9th of the season. Santa Rosa 2, DVC 0.
Looks like Rubel is going to come into this game, as I was just mentioning earlier. We haven't seen her yet, but she's here and ready to go by the looks of it. Hopefully she can make an impact like she did on Tuesday.
A free kick whistled here on what I believe is DVC's first acknowledged foul. This is going to be looped over the top. Vikings, we mentioned before, wanted to get to halftime without conceding again. That is now passed, and now you've just got to make sure you survive the next 3 minutes 20 plus whatever Mr. Maloney adds on for stoppages. Here comes a cross in towards the penalty dot, met with the foot somewhat of the number 7, or rather, we'll figure out who it was in a second. That one is launched over the top and well wide.
I think it's just the manner of the second goal, which is so deflating for the players and the coaching staff and everybody involved, really. It's just such an unfortunate mistake after Hicks gave the ball away, I think, but she's had a great game, really, up until that point. I don't think she's done much wrong, so she's going to be the one who's most disappointed. But, you know, they've got time to put it right. It's now, can you not be so deflated to give away a third? You've got to stay in this game now.
Yeah, Maila Hicks, the Doherty Valley product, freshman here for DVC, potentially one of the building blocks for that 2025 team, which is going to have a handful of really interesting freshmen on it. Callista Rubel just into the game, one of them, you would expect. But, yeah, she's had the journey of going from being an attacking mid and maybe occasional defensive mid when Sierra Rosemont needed a blow to now being an installed center back as a result of injuries and then just trying to figure out what worked. And she's been phenomenal this year in that role. It does hurt you to see that happen, but figure somebody playing out of position, every now and again you're going to have one of those.
Yeah, I think the key is now how do you react after a mistake, isn't it? You've got to, that's a good.
Oh, dear heavens, that is an absolute missile.
Yeah, and that's the danger now. We've had one mistake, and then that's just a great piece of skill. It's a real good hit. It's flown into the top corner. I don't think Correa's going to get to that one. And now DVC really do need to get themselves together and get in that locker room before they concede anymore.
That coming in minute number 43. Did you catch the number on that truck?
I did not. It's very difficult for me to see those numbers in white, but it was a fantastic hit.
I believe might have been the number 10, perhaps,
That's
Solodio.
That's what I would have to watch it back, but I think so.
Yeah, we'll check that at halftime in order to get the result. But the crux of it here is that Santa Rosa, with 3 shots on goal, now have 3 goals and have made this a very tough one going toward the halftime break.
I think my opinion is that second one just took so much wind out of their sails. You know, they're a bit too down on themselves. Shoulders get kind of slumped and heads go down when that second one goes in. And you can't do that in this game because you're playing against good teams. They're gonna come right back at you. So you got to again focus. That's a great ball from Rubel.
That's beautiful here. Sahani Singh trying to get through Paige Tauscher and just cannot.
It's an equally good tackle though on Sahani. Rubel's done well to find Sahani there, and the defender's done very, very well to stop that straight away.
Long ball pulled out of the sky by DeChoco, but Santa Rosa continue onward. Nice sliding challenge by Rodas. That'll at least arrest their progress down the field here.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the big challenge now is, Santa Rosa are 3-0 up and Doherty's been sitting on the bench. He's still going to come back into this thing in the second half and be well rested and ready to go. So it's a double blow really.
Ball over the top in search of the attacking line. Still alive here and forward towards Seawright. It's going to be Gandy who reaches out to grab it, but apparently commits a foul by the judgment of Dwight Maloney on Ella DeChoco. 5th one whistled against Santa Rosa. That'll give DVC the ball here as we wait for that final halftime whistle.
And the whistle cannot come soon enough for the Vikings here. They need this half over. They need to get back into the locker room, and coach needs to get them back together and get the game plan back under review and be ready to go, because there's a long 45 minutes ahead of them now.
Rodas able to get the ball forward as Viking coaching staff looking for a little more movement by the team off the ball. If you hear Tino Takuba, I believe, there in the microphone.
And that's good. I think sometimes the coach, that's what you've got to do. He can see his players are up against it, and you just want to get them a little bit of a lift, a little bit of an energy, and sometimes just yelling across the field can help them get over the line. Sometimes you need someone to yell at you to move quicker and get going.
That one's banked off of Casey, and it'll be another throw in here for Santa Rosa. Just looking for every time Dwight Maloney checks his watch and hoping that we're getting there. Another one repelled. Another whistle coming, I believe, from the back of us, from the Aquatic Center.
I thought that was the half-time whistle. That was just hope. It surely can't be far away, although there were a couple of injuries, so you can see that there may be some added on time here for sure.
Yeah, we saw Esquivias out for a clash of heads. Lopez Real was in a bit of a tangle in what was probably DVC's best look at trying to get an equalizer immediately after Santa Rosa picked up their first one back in the 24th. That ball out over in the attacking third. Sittner escorts it out, and Santa Rosa will have another throw.
Oh, the referee's looking at his watch, which seems to be a good sign.
Hicks repels this one. Whistle to the mouth. I think one good clearance, and he'll blow for halftime. Sierra Rosemont looking to get that away. Esquivias on it. Squares that for Miyazaki. Needs to get this out of here. Mickey still on it. The cavalry comes. Mickey somehow still from her butt. Able to get to that for a moment. Here comes another shot from distance. That one well wide and over the back line.
I think that'll surely do it. I would have thought this goal kick could see the conclusion of the half.
Ball driven deep, not brought down by Trujillo. He has no interest in blowing for halftime just yet. Honstein on it.
Apparently not, no. I'm surprised we're still out playing here, but I guess there was more time than we thought added on for those injuries.
Ball squared up here in the direction of Solorio. Gandy takes it away from her feet, puts it to the right side for Sittner, who's going to have to go chase. Keeps it in at the back line. Drop back toward Tauscher, but instead intercepted by Esquivias. Vikings trying to clear it away.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep playing here. Looks
That
like
one drilled deep.
It's going and going, but Sahani's got to keep chasing this ball and make sure they make it difficult for Santa Rosa.
Tauscher up the right side. Rodas knocks it down. Sittner has it skew off of the outside of her boot.
Okay.
And that is going to do it. And we reach the halftime break here. Vikings on goals from Dougherty, Gandy, and to be determined on that missile from distance in the 43rd. Santa Rosa just with an absolute double punch in the mouth after the Vikings had resisted well through 40 minutes there, Alex.
It's half time. I was sorry, I was just concentrating on the Santa Rosa coach there. Seemed to be unhappy with the referee and how he blew the halftime whistle. So sorry, I was a little bit distracted there. But the
no problem.
The half was disappointing, of course. You know, I think the DVC got off to a good start. The concentration level was there, and you think if they could have just gone in at 1-0, you'd still got a foothold in this game. Now the second, the mistake, you go 2-0, and again, like I said, I think that just took the wind out of their sails, and the third one is just a real killer blow. And now, the coaching staff have got a real job on their hands to try and kind of re-energize the group, get them back on the same page and get them out here for another 45 minutes of kind of hard running, committed tackles, concentration again, so this score doesn't escalate, because that's now the concern with Doherty coming back in. You can see she's got another 1 or 2 goals in her quite easily if you're not on your game.
Yeah, no doubt. So Vikings will look to get things in order. We're going to look to cheer ourselves up. We've got a little bit of something from the DVC social media, courtesy of Sam Lubicic. Quick little Halloween special, and then we're headed over, as always, to local music, courtesy of the Beat of Diablo and Dave Hughes. We'll be back in about 15. Your score through 45, Santa Rosa 3, DVC 0.
My favorite Halloween costume was Hannah Montana. I was Hannah Montana for about like 4 years in a row, so yeah.
My favorite Halloween costume was Tinkerbell when I was 3.
When I dressed up as my dad.
I was Snow White for 3 years.
A paletero. First Halloween, I was a pumpkin.
My favorite costume when I was younger was when I dressed up as Harry Potter.
My favorite costume was a chicken.
Because when me and my brother were pumpkins and I was like a pumpkin princess and he was a little pumpkin baby with a STEM hat. So my mom used to make us do little like family costumes, and my favorite was when I was the Cheshire Cat.
Probably when I was a butterfly. My favorite Halloween costume was when I dressed up as Jessie and my brother dressed up as a serial killer. My favorite Halloween costume was a Care Bear.
It was a little precognitive. I was a mad scientist one year when I was a kid, and I've at least got half of that. You can decide which half.
This is Dave Hughes, and you're listening to select cuts from my weekly show, The Beat of Diablo, here on DVC Vikings Live Halftime. If you want to hear more local music, tune in this Sunday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. to Concord's iconic student-built 90.5 KVHS, Concord Rock City.
Certainly, an echo from the cellar world, bottle slips suddenly. Undoubtedly, just a creaky floor and nothing more. A knock at the door from the corner of your eye, someone that you thought you saw before. Shaking to your core, and now you're running.
faces with anyone tonight. We'll carve pumpkin faces and watch the witches fly. Every human heart will shudder. Every soul will shake with fear. Tonight, the creepiest. Tonight, the scariest. Tonight, the most wonderful night. The year. Oh, anything can happen on Halloween. Your dog could turn into a cat. There may be a toad on your bass guitar, or your sister could turn into a bat. Christmas time brings the snow. Summertime brings the sun. But on Halloween, your blood begins to run. Something spooky's going on. Anything can happen on Halloween. It's better than a video. The gremlin's gonna mess up every cassette from London to Idaho. April 1st can be fun. New Year's Eve is the bar. But on Halloween, the flesh begins to crawl. Oh, losing control. Anything can happen on Halloween. Your toenails grow long and your hair turns green. Your teacher could become a sardine. Your dentist could turn into a queen. Has anybody seen my tambourine? I may start playing beginner begin. The craziest night you've ever seen. It's hairy, scary, and creepy, and crawly.
Catch me now. The devil won't catch me. The devil won't catch me now. The devil won't catch me. The devil won't catch me now. The devil won't catch me. The devil won't catch me now. The devil won't catch me.
reflection of another stream. What will happen when they wake and fall through another day? Will we ever find our freedom walking this familiar land? Will we drown in cries and tears, reaching for each other's hands? Reaching for each other's hands, reaching for each other's hands, reaching for each other, reaching for each other. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. The devil won't catch me now. The devil won't catch me. The devil won't catch me now. The devil won't catch me. The devil won't catch me now. The devil won't catch me. The devil won't catch me now. The devil won't catch me. The devil won't catch me now.
Favorite Halloween costume was Hannah Montana. I was Hannah Montana for about like 4 years in a row, so yeah.
Favorite Halloween costume was Tinkerbell when I was 3.
When I dressed up as my dad.
I was Snow White for 3 years.
A paletero. First Halloween, I was a pumpkin.
My favorite costume when I was younger was when I dressed up as Harry Potter.
My favorite costume was a chicken.
Is when me and my brother were pumpkins and I was like a pumpkin princess and he was a little pumpkin baby with a stem hat. So my mom used to make us do little like family costumes, and my favorite was when I was the Cheshire Cat.
Probably when I was a butterfly. My favorite Halloween costume was when I dressed up as Jessie and my brother dressed up as a serial killer.
My favorite Halloween costume was a Care Bear.
It was a little precognitive. I was a mad scientist one year when I was a kid, and I've at least got half of that. You can decide which half. And welcome back, folks, to Pleasant Hill, California, Vikings Field. Sophomore day here for the DVC Vikings. It's been a bit of a rough go. Taking a look at what else is coming up as we pull up towards the end of the fall season here in DVC Athletics. Men's water polo in action today. They're hosting a NorCal crossover. We'll tell you a little bit about what they did this morning as we take our usual trip around the horn. Jackie Ponciano Bab's volleyball team is going to be facing off, as you can hear the huddle break in our field microphone, and it's a very boisterous one here. And you know, another 45 minutes, regardless of how things have gone. It does look like the players are pumping each other up. I like the vibes as we get started. We'll finish here. The DVC volleyball on the road at Cosumnes River Friday, that being today, at 6 p.m. Football in action tomorrow afternoon, and that's the rest of what we've got. We'll be telling you about cross country. They had their action on Wednesday, and it was glorious action as it worked out. But Joe Hickey back with you here from Vikings Field and joined by Alex Laubin. Alex, man, oh man, oh man. 40 really encouraging minutes, Vikings going toe-to-toe, and then just an absolute mess at the end there.
Yeah, I was taking the halftime break to try and recover from that. It was tough to see the game run away from DVC there, you know, after Hicks's unfortunate mistake. It kind of it's cost us not just the one, but ended up 2 goals going in, and now the Vikings face a big uphill battle to try and get back in this game.
And we're back underway here, 3-0 the scoreline. Again, those goals coming courtesy of Dougherty in the 24th minute, one of the leading scorers in the 3C2A, immediately back in and going up against her opposing 23, DeChoco. The ball's brought forward, the flag up at the near sideline from Francisco Manso, and that'll bring that to an end. Gandy and Honstein, the goals. We did get the identity of the scorer of that missile from about 25 yards out right at the finish.
Yeah, and the news doesn't get much better for the Vikings because Dougherty's back out there. She had about 15 minutes to rest in that first half, and they got 2 goals, and now the leading goal scorers back in and ready and raring to go, and we'll be looking to add to her tally.
And immediately back on it here is Santa Rosa. Coming up the left side, left for Miyacara. Ball in for Doherty. Knocks it down in a rip, and what a save by Denise Correa. That is spectacular.
Wow, we really needed that save, because all of a sudden you could see that flying in, and we got big trouble. That would have been the last thing they needed, is straight away to concede the fourth. DVC have got to get running here and get on the ball and compete and not let this game run away with them. But that was a fantastic save.
It's certainly the sort of thing you can get yourself pumped up around. Denise has been really phenomenal in this role. We've got a yellow card shown here, I believe, to the number 24. That's going to go against Ashley Vigil. I didn't catch what that was all about there, did you?
I didn't. I'm going to assume it was for dissent of some nature. I don't think there was a challenge. No one was around the ball. So I think she must have said something to the referee that he didn't like, and that's why she's in the book. But we'll have to maybe ask him at the end of the game what that was for, because there was nothing obvious we could see from here.
So that goes in the 47th minute against the 24 Ashley Vigil. We're going to go ahead and hold back on sharing that because the microphone's battery is dying over here at the PA. But we're going to save that for the final announcements at the end of today's match. But meanwhile, Santa Rosa continue in possession for a moment. They now lose out on the far sideline. DVC attacking right to left in the home green and black.
Such an important save there. I think, again, you're kind of deflated because you're 3-0 down, and the whistle's barely gone, and they score again. You're like, wow, gets even worse. So a really important save for her teammates. Hopefully they help her out now and start running around and get some tackles in and compete.
Calista Rubel forward looking for Suhani Singh. Out comes Nickel, and that at least spares a little controversy because I'm relatively sure I saw a handball on Rubel as she collected that, but perhaps not. All fine for Dwight Maloney. Didn't hear a whole lot of protest from the other bench, so maybe I'm wrong.
No, you were eagle-eyed, spotted that, but nobody else did. It's, the game has just carried on.
Coming up that left wing again is Doherty trying to float that over the top, and there is the fourth. And it is Shea Doherty, I believe, again. No, perhaps Taylor Gandy, the 8. No, it's the 8. It's Taylor Gandy who's got the double now.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was a cross that went in. I'm not even sure that was a shot. The way the trajectory of the ball looked like a cross, and it's just looped over Correa there, and she'll be disappointed after making such a great save early on. That one just looped kind of tamely over her head, really.
Well, we will have to fire up the microphone again in order to share that bit of news. 4-0 as we update it in every conceivable place. And Santa Rosa continue to have full command of this game. Just one moment here. Goal scored by Santa Rosa in minute number 49 off the boot of Taylor Gandy, her second of the day. Before that, yellow card shown to number 24, Ashley Vigil, in the 47th.
They really need DVC players here to show some competitive spirit. There's nothing worse. You're 4-0 down, and you've got to show some fight and some pride in what you're doing. Get some tackles in, run as hard as you can, and make sure that you don't get embarrassed in the rest of the game. Really, that's the key now.
Yeah, especially on a sophomore day, as Ninkovic swings and misses at that. Looks to get stuck back in against Holstein, who's already got one goal today. Mila finally able to shepherd that away for a throw-in.
Yeah, you just feel so disappointed for them. They had a foothold in the game there at 1-0, and it's slipped away. And it's not got better straight away in this half, so we really do have to dig in now, show some resilience, and try and compete with Santa Rosa for the remainder of the game.
And it's certainly where the short roster becomes an issue, because it's really become a pattern since they lost Marina Ognian and Nikki Miyazaki that this team concedes goals at the end of the first half. They've done it now 3 out of the last 4 games. They did it against Folsom to go down 2-0 from 1-0. Did it against Sierra to go from scoreless to 1-0, and then gave up one right on the other side of halftime. And then today give up a pair of them. It's really become an issue, and I think you can chalk a lot of it up to just the simple fact that there's fatigue.
Yeah, it's going to happen. There's a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of chasing in that half. Santa Rosa dominated the possession. So the Vikings spent most of the half chasing the thing down, and yeah, they probably are tired just going into the halftime break.
Trujillo comes up with it. Here's Suhani Singh pushing that into a bit of space, but also a little bit out wide. Tries to get her foot under it, but that's just going to roll to Dorothy Nickel as a defender was crashing in on her.
It was on her left-hand side, which is not her strength, is it really? I think we saw that on Tuesday. We needed to get one of those on her right foot so she can kind of get a good strong shot away, really. But she had very chances being few and far between for Sahani today.
Well, and full credit to Santa Rosa. Like it does seem that they've done a very good job of shepherding DVC towards the left. They don't have a ton of left-footed players to really try and get something off that way, and they've done a brilliant job of keeping Trujillo under wraps that way. Just they continue to push her and Suhani out to the wing where they can't get it on that stronger foot.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that's by design. I think they've just been fortunate that
Yeah.
the through balls have probably ended up that side, and they haven't had the chance to face any decent shots, really. I think I can only remember one decent chance from the cross in the first half.
There's a ball out to the open player. The number 5 is going to fire that through. That's Genevieve Stewart, looking for what would be her 5th goal of the season, but that's going to go well wide of the frame. Stewart responsible for the equalizer among her 4 goals in the win against Folsom Lake. That the only loss that the Falcons have suffered in the course of this season, and it is Folsom Lake that Santa Rosa are targeting, joining at the top of the table, and it looks like they will get that done, barring a colossal fight back from the green and white.
Well, those are the kind of situations you just see there that are so important to get yourself in the game. It might look simple, but it was just a goal kick. It's gone into the central midfield, but we've got beaten to the ball. Santa Rosa have won the header. Well, it's now, okay, here comes the goal kick again. Can you compete? If the ball's in the air, you've got to win a header, go win a header. Do the simple things well to get back in the game.
It'll be Trujillo keeping them from springing an attack up the right side after another attempt to build out of the back goes wanting. This time the throw-in is to DeChoco, trying to protect that under the pressure of 2 players. Doherty came up with it for a moment. DeChoco pops back up and has it. Still on the ball. Now loses possession.
She almost fell over the top of the ball to DeChoco. Couldn't quite get it out of her feet and get it moving.
Here's Callista Rubel tracking back into the defensive midfield. She's played a little bit everywhere this season for the Vikings, and there's a nice ball forward for Trujillo, and she looks to loop this in the direction of Singh a little long. Nickel forced to kick it away as she was approaching the edge of the 18-yard box. Rodas getting stuck in and takes that away. Casey back on it.
Yeah, I think Rubel's done well since she's come into the game. You know, a couple of nice passes, shown her physicality. And that's probably why she's still on the field.
Rosemont again over to that left side, and again not quite finding the right address to feed the likes of Singh or Trujillo. Stays in play down in that corner, though.
Actually, a half-decent attack from DVC there. Put a couple of passes together and a good through ball. It's a shame Sahani couldn't get onto the end of it.
Rodas has that taken away by Gandhi there in the 50-50 opportunity. Threaded forward looking for Doherty, who will touch that into the right wing. May have gotten way too much of it. She'll keep it in play at the wing, and it looks like DeChoco's played that off of Doherty, and that'll go to DVC.
Trying to think of some positives here, so I'm looking forward to seeing Rodas play down this left side again. It was enjoyable on Tuesday to see her in the second half, really getting high up the field and getting some good crosses in, some good passes, so something to look forward to see if she can have another good second half.
No doubt. On Tuesday, a number of Vikings in full effect. We saw a great performance from Hicks and DeChoco and Ninkovic in the defensive zone, and then Rodas in particular being an attacking weapon. Picked up 2 assists. Came in fact, if this ends up being the final result, she'll have 2 assists in the Vikings' final game in which they scored goals, and then 1 on the very first goal of the season, and that would bookend the whole thing.
Yeah, I think she's going to be focusing on her defending this half. I don't think she's going to have the chance to get too high up the field. Let's hope so. But
ball forward by Trujillo, looking for Rubel, but too long.
I think a hopeful ball forward is probably the accurate description for that one. It's kind of a hit and hope it gets somewhere, but I get it. They're tired legs. They're trying to get up the field.
Ball on the foot right now. The 7, Tauscher, shepherded by Rubel toward the center, where Ruiz looks to apply pressure. Now sprayed out to the left side for Carra. Lopez Real in pursuit, and it's knocked down here by Ninkovic. Forward, and Carra takes it away, and calling for it is the 5 Stewart over here at the right side if they can get their heads up. They don't end up feeding her. It's instead Honstein.
I'm going to clear this. I'm going to need to clear it.
Ball still alive, and it's going to be won through some hard work there by the number 8, and it's a hat trick for Taylor Gandy.
Yeah, she's got to be happy with her day's work, getting a hat trick. I don't really think she's been sort of a standout player for them, yet she's got 3 goals, so she's just taken her chances really well. Credit to her, but it's not like it's been anything incredibly special. I think it's just disappointment, really, that the DVC haven't managed to clear that. We got the wrong side of the attacker there. Couldn't get goal side and get a chance to get a block on, which I know they'll be frustrated with, and it's the score line is now running away.
Santa Rosa goal at minute number 56. Third of the day for number 8, Taylor Gandy. Making me talk about this in multiple speakers is it just feels like cruelty.
It's not as hard as being out there, Joe. I can tell you. When
yeah,
you're 5-0 down, you got to go and chase this ball. It's even harder. And I think you know, the coaching staff here, I feel for them too. I've been there, and when you're in the end of a tough scoreline, it's very difficult because you want to go out there and kind of help your players, but you can't. All you can do is try and G them up from the sideline with a little bit of instruction here and there, but the disappointment's there. But hang on, there's a through ball here, and
Sofia Lopez Real getting onto it. She had one on Tuesday, looking for a little something. Slides this back, and it's hit by Suhani Singh, but blocked by the defender at point-blank range.
It'd be nice just to get one goal at this point, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to have something to cheer us up, really, in the commentary booth, shall we call it here.
Yeah, well, and particularly to have just the feeling of having scored against one of these top 4 teams, as you are going to be facing one of them, very likely this team again, up in Sonoma in 7 days' time. Like, that would absolutely be something to build on, as we've got, I believe, a corner kick having been earned down here at the other end on the counterattack.
Yeah, it was a decent chance for DVC there as the ball broke down the left-hand side. And I think look for the cross at the end, probably the right thing to do. Could have been a bit more selfish and gone for the shot, but you can see what she's trying to do there. So it was a promising attack. It would have been nice to try and get one. Cheer everybody up a little bit.
Look there at the scoring recap. Gandy in the span of 13 minutes now with a hat trick. Hunstein in the middle of that, and of course Doherty before all of it. Santa Rosa have blown open a game that was very tight until that mistake at the back, and it's a whole different animal now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a very long half an hour for the Vikings out there, because you know it's hard enough playing soccer, but when you're 5-0 down, you know the running becomes even harder. That's for sure.
Well, we're going to look to cheer ourselves up just a little bit here, and in doing so, we're going to talk just briefly about men's water polo as we start our around the horn coverage. DVC men will be facing off with Cabrillo in a moment, although we've got an attack to follow right here as that has struck Sierra Rosemont up high. Apparently not a handball for Dwight Maloney. We'll get back to the water polo in just a moment.
Yeah, I think it did strike her arm, didn't it? But I can see why he didn't give it. It's probably hard for what does she do. It's really hard to get out of the way of that.
Ball in looking for Doherty, and she'll head that slightly goalward. Out comes Correa, who lost in everything else. We neglected to mention Denise today is the one who's had the captain's armband bequeathed to her by Lily Underwood. Wood back on the bench today after the ACL repair on Tuesday. The team celebrated their first goal by coming over here and spelling out her name underneath the camera. And glad to have their injured captain back, especially after having earned what appears to be another year of eligibility for her by ensuring that she can take that medical red shirt after the Vikings play their final 3 games of this season in the Big 8 tournament.
Yeah, I had a little chat with Lily earlier. She said her surgery went well. She's now going to focus on her recovery, so it'll be exciting for her to kind of get back on the field once she's kind of done her rehab here at DVC.
Yeah, I was talking as well with the assistant coach and former Viking scoring wizard, Marjan Haydari, who recently had an ACL repair. She was surprised that Lily was on her feet already, but I think Marjan had some meniscus issues as well, so they kept her off of any load bearing a little longer. But you do learn an awful lot about physiology from following sports.
Yeah, we could have done with Marjan out here today. It would have been nice to see her help up top, try and get 1 or 2 goals for us. She certainly was more than capable to score on any given day.
Well, that is one assistant coach that has actually used up her eligibility, regretfully. Played at San Jose State as well after transferring, and of course Afghanistan International, as that one's again floated towards Doherty, who had the 1 goal early and is now probably looking at Taylor Gandy and saying, well, I want a hat trick too.
Yeah.
And working her way there. We're going to have a substitution in a moment. Katie Curran coming in here for Santa Rosa, which is the always odd look, but they've had this for the last couple of seasons. I remember Grace Messenger did this too, the outfield player wearing number 1.
Yes, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I've seen it exactly once. My favorite team over in Italy, Chievo Verona, had a player named Jonathan de Guzman, who is, of all things, a Dutch player who that was his quirk. He liked to wear number 1 despite being a midfielder, and it was the strangest looking thing I've ever seen.
It's unusual, isn't it? Normally kept for the goalkeepers, but I think you've got to be a really good player if you're going to go out there with number 1 on your back.
Lopez Real looking sprightly up the left side, finally closed down by her opposing 7, Tauscher. That one whipped away by the number 5. We'll see who that touched last. It'll be a DVC throw-in up this left side. And we'll finish telling you about water polo. They have now won 4 in a row, the men's team. They're approaching a 500 record, beat Cabrillo in overtime last Friday, and this morning a 13-5 victory over Ohlone. They'll be playing Cabrillo again in that NorCal crossover, and that will be the final tune-up for them before the Big 8 tournament starting next Thursday here at the DVC pool, and we will have full coverage of that for you on DVC Vikings Live for Day 3, the women's semifinals, third-place games, and the finals as Sierra Rosemont goes to ground hard there, flying in for a ball. No doubt about her competitive spirit. Hicks over the top here to the left side. Rodas taps that forward. The flag is up, though, across the side from Prashant Modi. It'll be a free kick to come here as Santa Rosa prepares some other substitutions.
Well, congrats to the men's water polo team. We needed a little bit of positive news today after a difficult afternoon here at the Viking Stadium.
Well, I've got more to come, but I got to wait until I got time for a 20-second video to play for us here. It's been a good week for one other DVC program in particular, and hopefully about to be a good week for DVC football on Saturday.
Good.
Facing off with Foothill on the heels of obliterating San Joaquin Delta last Saturday in the 75th anniversary / homecoming game. Ball on the foot of Ashley Vigil here. Players showing to either side for it, but she'll square it up into the midfield, and a little aimless. Trujillo almost able to get onto it. Up to the left side here as we're currently slightly shielded from view by a couple of subs. Ball forward, and good work there by DeChoco and Hicks to wall off Doherty, and it's a foul committed as the shot is uncorked in the direction of Correa. And that will give us that time here for a moment. And we're going to tell you a little bit about cross country. And we're going to start that not by telling, but by showing.
This is going to be a tight finish. Neck and neck. Unbelievable. Diablo Valley for the individual title.
And you see there making his way across the finish line, Alan Solari, your new Big 8 Conference champion here for cross country. He, as well as his teammate Alana Sevier, second place on the women's side, made first team all-conference, and they'll be joined by Victoria Fung, Elena Mendez, and Paulo Morales on the second team All-Big 8. Just 2 meets left for DVC Cross Country for Shelley Pearson's men and women. And that is next Friday in Salinas for the NorCal Championships and the State Championships 2 weeks later down in Fresno. As far as the teams, they finished second and third respectively. The women in second place as a group, the men in third place as a group in the Big 8. So congratulations to Shelley Pearson's men and women doing good work out on the course as they were hosting the Big 8 championship race this time around up at Hidden Valley in Martinez.
Yeah, Shelley's certainly a legend of DVC around these parts.
Some good news there, and as we said, we'll have potentially results next time we see you here on DVC Vikings Live for those NorCal championships. That'll be happening the morning that the Vikings play their first tournament game.
Oh, we're just getting back into the action here after an injury stoppage. Looks like we're going to get the ball back in play. Let's get going again.
The Huddle Focus AI-aided camera having a little bit of trouble, I think, with the low light and is occasionally losing sight of the ball, so our apologies for that. But we look where the robot tells us to look at this point as that one's floated over the top. Look out, another opportunity here, and Doherty unable to get it. Correa very alert to the fact that she had left the 18 and kicks it away after the initial touch with the hands.
Yep, she did well there. She did well there. We're looking forward to getting to the substitutes on the field, aren't we, Joe? 'Cause it'll be a lot easier to see this game than from behind them.
That is absolutely the case. Also, they might take off a couple of the players that are giving us headaches right now, so also not a bad thing. Will be Kaya Gagaring coming in a moment, as well as the return of Selema Parasalorio.
You can certainly see why Santa Rosa are at the top of the standings here, or towards the top. They've got a large squad, haven't they? The rotations have been used very well. And they've got a lot of athleticism about the team as well, so you can certainly see why they're going to do well in the postseason as well.
Now, you would certainly imagine, as we mentioned, a lot of Big 8 teams as always, preparing to head to the NorCal playoffs as the two Santa Rosa subs come in. They take off the 6 Honstein and the 7 Tauscher. For DVC, Miki Miyazaki back in place of Casey Trujillo. 24 minutes left in the Vikings home slate. It is sophomore day as it's the last scheduled game, as that one's going to pop loose, and in pursuit is Correa, and she will escort that over the line in front of Curran and prevent an opportunity for the sub to get onto it.
Yeah, I think it's 24 minutes on the board, but I think we know the referee likes to add the injury time, so I think that stoppage earlier is probably going to be a couple of 3 minutes on top of this. Although I know the coaching staff will want the clock to tick down as quickly as possible at this stage.
Yeah, we will see which direction he decides to go with it. I've certainly seen referees that when a game is a bit out of hand just say, we don't really need to do any more of this. We'll see what happens.
It would be wise refereeing for sure.
Again, pushing through is Genevieve Stewart. Sliding challenge from DeChoco. And that is a spectacular tackle. Santa Rosa is absolutely apoplectic, but looked like it was clean.
I thought it was a great tackle myself, and obviously it was solid. You watch that back; it was all ball. That's a solid tackle for me. I know it's harder as a coach when it's on your player. You obviously have somewhat bias, and you care for your players. You want them to be okay. So it's never nice to see. I hope she's okay because it was definitely a very strong tackle. But for me, it was within the laws of the game. But I think she's fallen pretty awkwardly there. So we certainly hope she's okay because it was a hard fall.
And meanwhile, the shot was hit away and well high and wide as the DVC trainers, Brie Menor, come out. Now back up sitting is the injured Santa Rosa player and gathering her wits. I thought at first that it was Dougherty perhaps, but was that the 5 Stewart that ended up taking that blow?
Can't see she's on the floor there. She's certainly fallen. It was a difficult one, but from my angle it looked like a really good strong tackle.
And the camera has gone off to the left, but back to her feet is Genevieve Stewart and leaving the field under her own power, accompanied by Chaidez and Menor.
Yeah, I think she's going to be a little bit shook up from hitting the ground so hard there. So it looks. The good news is she's up and walking, so that's good news.
No, absolutely. About halfway through half number 2 here from DVC Vikings Field. I was starting to mention before that challenge, DVC may play one more game here at home. The way the tournament's structured is Ella DeChoco replaces her divot over where that slide challenge took place. My goodness, that's good groundsmanship.
She went for that tackle. It was full-blooded, and that's what you need to do. I mean, at the end of the day, was it 5-0 down? You've got to compete and be tough and aggressive and make sure that they don't get any more goals.
Well, Taylor Sittner coming in here in place of the injured Stewart. Correa will kick this one deep in just a moment. That potential home game would be I just figured I would let the field mic speak for that just now. It's kind of an interesting back and forth there between referee and both coaches. Thought for a moment we were going to see another sliding challenge, and here comes Rosemont looking for it. That one's looped over the top, and it's going to be Ninkovic getting to it first. Bangs that against Curran and tries to snatch that out of the sky, does Dougherty, but can't get it on frame.
Yeah, I was trying to listen into that one. I think the Santa Rosa coach had a disagreement with the referee's interpretation of that strong challenge earlier. So, again, for my mind, I think it was a good, strong challenge. I think if we watch it back, I guess we will see.
Yep, we do have it in 1080p now. Finally realized that the internet we have here is strong enough to actually stream at that level of quality. I've been worried about my computer choking on it up until then. Oh, decent use of the body to let that fly by against the much larger Sittner, but Lopez Real with the low center of gravity, not quite able to get a touch to it to keep it in play.
There's almost a good kind of foot difference in height between those two, so got to keep the ball on the floor there. There's only one person going to win the header there.
No doubt. Yeah, non-trivial difference in height there. Jacqueline Weeks comes in for Mia Carra, Callista Rubel out, and Casey Trujillo in for DVC. The throw in to come from this right side from Pada. Gagaring.
It's gone in and it's gone straight back out. So DVC have a chance to get it forward now. The interesting thing about tackles like that earlier, though, it kind of gets everybody a little bit excited. You know, there's a little bit of new energy in the game, you know, from DVC. Maybe, you know, DeChoco putting that challenge and has woke a few of her teammates up and gone, you know what, we need to fight like she's trying to fight to keep us going here.
Well, Suhani Singh tracking way back to try to get her boots on the leather, and ends up dropping that all the way back towards Correa after a touch from a Santa Rosa player. It'll be a goal kick. I've tried to say it like 2 or 3 times now. I'm finally going to get it out. DVC would potentially play here again on the 14th of November. That would be a Thursday for their finale. The way that the tournament works is that the 2 teams that lose their first round game and then lose in the consolation bracket are the teams that host number 9 in the final match, final 2 matches of the season. So it would be DVC on Thursday, and then whoever ends up finishing 7th or higher if they happen to lose their first 2. That would be who ends up doing that. If the Vikings win either of their games in the first 2 rounds of the tournament, they would be on the road then for all 3, because nobody else would be there wouldn't be any lower seeds. They're going to be the 8th seed in that. So.
Well, that's good. That's why we keep you around, Joe, because you've got all the answers for us. We need you to do this research and figure it out, because it's too complicated for the rest of us.
Well, you think that's complicated. The PowerPoints formula, it used to be a mess. It's now an unholy mess.
Sure.
Because of the Big 8 tournament. Because it used to be that I could look up and find out, like, okay, who do we still have left to play? That's no longer known. It makes me utterly insane. I hit the point where I just can't even do it until really the last week of the tournament to figure out where we stand.
Does seem to be a very complex process. I'd love to meet the person or people that come up with these formats. They're mathematicians, we know that for sure.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes if there were like just extensive, lengthy meetings about like the difference between, well, is it 0.6 or 0.5 bonus points for beating a team or for drawing a team away from home if their record's over 750? Because I feel really strongly about this one way or the other. You just wonder. That's a ball forward, and that's going to give an opportunity here for Singh to run onto it. Has it on her right foot. Is going to end up hitting that with the instep, though, and did not have that get a touch to from anybody else on the way through, and now Singh is down injured.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what's going on here. What's the AR has signalled for something? Assuming it's not offside because she ran through. Did he try and signal for a foul or something?
I thought it was a signal for a goal kick, indicating that it had gone over the back line without a touch from anybody besides Suhani.
That would make sense then. But I think there was Suhani there. She had a runner, one of her teammates. Who was that? Was that Lopez Real who was in the centre? We had a play. I think it was Lopez Real in the centre there. It was wide open. If we could have just got the ball squared, I think she had a good chance to get a shot off and on target.
I think just with this. Oh dear. And Suhani appears to be in a lot of pain from what I'm seeing from over here. Oh goodness. Okay, well we'll come away from that here. We've got a substitution taking place, and we'll take a moment here to show you again. We're trying to cheer ourselves up a little bit here at a little bit at a time here. But DVC football, that's one way to cheer yourselves up. 59-14. Victors, and we have somebody in the YouTube comments who thinks thought they saw an elbow to the face at the end of that challenge, and it does appear Dwight Maloney saw nothing.
Yeah, I didn't notice that from my position. I wonder if that's what the AR was. No, the AR was just signalling for the goal kick. You'd think the AR was right there if there was an elbow. You're wondering why the AR is not signalling to his referee and having a conversation about that. Cause
yeah, you'd expect more of a vigorously waved flag followed by the point rather than just the simple point. As Caitlin Seawright comes back in for Santa Rosa alongside Kati Febush. But a quick look here at DVC football. They'll be in action tomorrow at 1 p.m. Vikings with 390 rushing yards against San Joaquin Delta, an absolute ground assault en route to that 59-14 victory. Ferrari Miller accounting for nearly half of that and 2 scores. Viking football at the moment back inside the top 20 in California in the JCAB poll.
We always want to know what Ferrari's up to. The best name in DVC athletics history, surely.
That's way up there. I mean, just for somebody too who's making his business in speed, there's a shove from behind. Miyazaki had position. That'll be a DVC free kick. But yeah, absolutely. Like just the matchup between, like, that's a good name regardless. It's an amazing name for a running back.
Yeah, these parents must have been clairvoyant.
There's a school of nominative determinism. You name somebody that, and they're just going to be fast.
Back to the sock here. This is a good opportunity. The free kick's in a great position. We just need a good delivery here. And can we get some kind of attempt on target? Be lovely to get a goal and have something to cheer about. Here we go.
This ball floating downwards. Nickel comes out and punches. It's going to come out to Trujillo. She lets rip. Goal! Casey Trujillo with a patented right-footed banger from the top of the box on the rebound. DVC get that goal here and get some good feelings in this final quarter of an hour, Alex.
Yeah, we certainly needed that. That was great to see. And just as I had hoped, good delivery in. Goalkeeper had difficulty dealing with it, tried to punch it out. It's fallen to Casey on her right foot, exactly where we want it. We know when she gets it onto her right, she can hit a really good ball, and she's connected with that great, and it's a goal. It's cheered us all up. Is this the start of the big comeback, Joe?
hey, we got time here. It could happen. How quickly did we score 2 at the end of that Sac City game? Who knows? Ball laid back here to Denise Correa. That's going to be cleared out as far as Sittner, and then we'll go ahead and tell the folks about this one, that last one. That's on a hop, and that is a save for Denise Correa. We've got a lot of updates to do on the scoreboard, and we're going to get them all up there because I'm sure folks are wondering why the 1 hasn't showed up. Meanwhile, a yellow card shown to another Santa Rosa player. Was that the 10, I think, who's coming back? So we'll go ahead and get those both out here. Just a moment. I'm not even going to bother to mute myself this time around. DVC goal in minute number 76 off the boot of number 10, Casey Trujillo, her 7th of the season. In the meanwhile, yellow card shown to number 10, Sulema Palasolorio for Santa Rosa Junior College.
And the free kick we've just given straight back to Santa Rosa there, which is disappointing. You got a chance to set up, and we've kicked the ball right to him. But DVC trying to get behind the ball now. I mean, DeChoco would come up here onto the left, trying to get forward, and she's had to get back. So
that was a last-ditch challenge there. Forward from Rosemont towards Lopez Real, who ran straight into Sittner and manages to hold on to the ball and come out the other end. Here comes Lopez Real, pushing it up that right sideline. Challenge, and the ball out after a touch from Rojas Garfias. Throw in for the Vikes.
You know what, this game coming back to life all comes back from that first big challenge down here. You know, all of a sudden everybody got going, and the coaches got upset, and the players got upset, and a game that was seemingly done and dusted and flat is now, at least it's got some competitiveness back in it. It's more engaging to watch now, and we have something to cheer about after the goal too, so that's nice.
I was partially wondering if the delay for the injury after that challenge was going to mute that effect a little bit, but you're absolutely right. It has done no such thing.
Yeah, it's still competitive. I mean, you know, the referees dished out a yellow card there. Even they're putting difficult challenges in, and it's good to see from our perspective of watching a good game of soccer here. It's brought the game back to life.
We'll as well get the yellow card up here on the screen. Second Bear Cub in Mr. Maloney's book, as that one's batted away, and it'll go out for the Vikings. Second corner kick today, and the first one was not too shabby, if I recall correctly. It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. You've got a good memory for that one, but can we get another good delivery? Just like off the free kick earlier, you got to get these passed over the front post. That's the challenge with them. Can you clear the front post and get it into the middle of the goal, and then things tend to happen.
It's going to be the newly reinserted Carol Esquivias to put this one in a little on the short side. Met with the head of Sierra Rosemont. Hit a Santa Rosa player. It'll be another corner kick, and the signal was maybe the upper part of the arm. I don't know. Certainly the call came from the DVC bench, thinking that might have been a handball.
We should go back to the delivery. It's too short, isn't it? Again, it's just you got to get it further into the box and that to have a chance on goal. Really, it's too short. Hopefully, she can get a little bit more purchase on the ball here and get it towards us. Having said that, she's probably got the wind. If you look at the flag in front of me, the wind's right at her. So in fairness to her, the wind's not going to help if it's blowing at you. That's better, is it?
Floating in toward the penalty dot as Alina Rodriguez appears to have committed a foul going up for it. And we didn't catch that earlier, but Alina into the game here for the green and white as well.
Yeah, she got under that one more, but it didn't do much good either.
The last thing you want going into the breeze is backspin. All cranked deep by the center back. Brought down with a cushion header by Curran. That's a little bit long for Sittner. It'll be a DVC throw-in from just in front of us.
Yep, this is a good position. Nice in their half. Try and get the ball in the box here. Get forward, get a cross in or something.
Throw into Alina, and that's going to come free for Sofia Lopez Real. Looks to get herself off the shoulder of Rojas Garfias. The cross to the near post, and just barely unable to get there through Trujillo. Nickel wise to it.
Yeah, she did well to kind of break away then and find some space for the cross. Just couldn't quite get enough strength in the cross to get it, in an area to bother the goalkeeper. It was fairly simple in the end.
That one popped up, and a little bit of the wind effect as
Good.
well, and that's held in by Rosemont. Bounced back toward Ruiz. 2 defenders come to it. That hit at least 2 hands, and I think they were both in pink jerseys. Free kick DVC.
And that's what you want to see from Rosemont. She's a tough kid, tough player, and she kind of gets those players around her kind of more fired up when she kind of wins the balls, the headers, the tackles, and all that good stuff.
This one drilled toward the right side, met with a head in front of Carol Esquivias. Yeah, the opportunity here, with as rough as things felt coming out of the break, is that if the Vikings do manage to pick up another tally, they would have played the second half to a 2-2 draw, which, given going in with that double punch in the face right before halftime, you'd have to feel okay about that.
True. If only they handed out points for second half ties, then it would be nice. But it certainly shows it's an improved performance if they can get there. It would. They have a lot more life about them now after the goal. It gives you a little bit of a confidence and a lift. So yeah, I mean, something to work towards would be nice to go in and say, yeah, we got another goal. Especially it's sophomore game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Besides the goals against Sacramento City, Vikings' only goals in Big 8 play, besides the one that you just saw a few moments ago off of the boot of Casey Trujillo, had been the one back in match day 2 against Modesto Junior College. That was a lovely hit by Sofia Lopez Real at the end of a tasty action. But we have since found out Modesto, at the time, we thought was going to be among the better teams in the Big 8. They have slipped their way down further and further into the bottom half, as they are currently, I believe now, 5th and in danger of falling behind Delta to 6th. They were down 3-0 at halftime to Cosumnes River when we took a look earlier at the CRC live stream. So don't yet know what's going on between Delta and Sacramento City. That game ended when ours hit halftime, but no score posted yet. AR and Sierra, that game started 30 minutes after us, but no live stats so far there either. Another attack down the left side. Alex, what do you think? Yeah,
it was a good little run from Lopez Real. I was just thinking she's got some good ability, Lopez Real. In a difficult game, she's actually had some bright sparks when she's got the ball. You can see why she got into the starting group, I think it was today, and she looks like a good player. She creates some good opportunities just as she gives the ball away. The classic, my second commentator's curse of the week. It's a real thing, that, isn't it, Joe?
Oh, no doubt. The Choco able to get stuck back in. That's another hard coming together, and the foul is whistled a little bit later here. It'll be a DVC ball.
It was a late challenge on the Choco there, wasn't it? It was pretty straightforward free kick for the referee to give. I don't see any problems with that one.
It sounded like Santa Rosa's bench was unimpressed with that, given that I think it was the Choco that had the earlier challenge, but it's not a question of how hard was it or how hard did somebody fall. It was the ball was away and then thwack.
It's just a foul.
It's textbook.
Straightforward. That's a good ball as well.
That's floating in just over the back, or the folks at the front line of the box. It takes a touch from Santa Rosa. It'll be another Viking corner, 4th of the game.
Yep, picked up a corner. Another chance to try and get a delivery in here. The Choco's good on those free kicks from the deep areas.
It'll be Esquivias. I kind of wonder, given the quality we saw earlier, about why we don't occasionally see Sierra Rosemont take one of these from that corner. But this is driven. This is floating towards Nickel. Did that hit the bar?
The post, I think. I think it hit the front post and back out towards her. But yeah, I would agree. I think the quality from the corners has never been great in this week. I think it's worth looking at that. And do we rotate who takes these? I don't know. Maybe in practice that they're seeing great deliveries, but on game day it's not been fantastic as you'd really want.
Esquivias brings down the goal
good
kick.
Control.
Absolutely. The second or third time we've seen Cottle take a ball down really elegantly.
Yeah, she's got a good first touch, that's for sure. Oops.
Oh, that's a lovely 1-2 here, and an opportunity running up through the center here for Santa Rosa. Slide challenge, ball's away. Free kick, and Correa had the carom covered. At first, I think maybe the briefest play of advantage, but the sliding challenge does lead to a free kick and a yellow card.
Why did she get the ball there though? She slid and she's got part of the ball. I don't know. You know, it's just because their bench is up and yelling at the ref, they're unhappy with everything he does. But it's she slid in. She's got a purchase on the ball. Is that a free kick just because she got contact with a player? I'm not so sure personally, and I can say that because I can have my opinion on this show. It's good.
Did you get a peek at whether that was DeChoco or Hicks on that? I was kind of unsighted by the player that they were challenging against.
I'm not clear, to be honest with you, Joe. I'm sorry. I need to brush up on my numbers and names here.
Well, I don't think either of them are in danger of picking up 5 and ending up
I would say
sitting
if I
a
was,
game out. So
I
think we're
I would say it was Hicks if I was.
yeah,
given
given the side, I would imagine so. 4 in the wall here for the free kick. That is low. It takes a deflection and does carry through to Correa. Almost stayed up just long enough for the on-rushing player to knock it home. Yeah, we'll go with that for the time being here in minute number 86. I've learned now that I've had the occasional issue spotting some of these things from here, and I've learned the easiest way to find out the correct answer is say the wrong one into this microphone, and somebody will let you know. So we're going to go with that.
I'm going to back you up. Let's just go Hicks. We'll see what happens.
Yellow card shown to DVC number 24, Maila Hicks, in the 86th minute. Was it Mila? See, I told you.
Yep, that's exactly what we thought. We weren't sure, and now we found out.
Correction, number 8, Mila Ninkovic, receiving the yellow. Say the wrong thing into a microphone. You learn everything you need to.
They clearly need to they clearly need to replace both of us, Joe. We've not got this right there.
The old eyes, the old eyes. I don't even get to blame the white numbers on pink jerseys for that one. That's just, there we go. Let's get that up on the board correctly. There we are.
We had to deal with the, was it a foul? Wasn't it a foul? That's what I was concentrating on there, and I don't think it was a booking or a foul personally. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to watch it back later and see if I'm wrong.
I'll say this: a decent enough time with a decent enough time on the microphone, and you will eventually get really judgmental of people over pronunciation, and much less judgmental about missing the spotter kind of role and not knowing who the heck just did something.
Sure.
It is harder than it looks.
I can vouch for that.
Throw in to come here as we reach the final drops of the DVC home slate here.
Yeah, I think also in fairness to you, the vantage point as well when you're pitch level here, if you're up higher and you can look from a sort of an angle and down, it's a little bit easier to spot. We're at not as much an elevated level as the coaching staff over there. You see it perched on the top of the bench, so I'm going to say that's the reason they spotted it.
Just that extra foot or so.
It is, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you joining us again today here, Alex. It's certainly a more enjoyable experience, even when it's this sort of game, to at least have somebody to talk about with it. And the gallows humor just doesn't seem as sad when you've got somebody to share it with. But it is what it is.
I'm here to share your pain today through this game. But it was nice to get the goal. It was enjoyable to see Casey fire another goal in and go from there. There's somebody else hurt here.
Yeah, it looks like another head-to-head challenge, and Dwight Maloney brought things to a stop immediately. I think initially the Santa Rosa player spun around thinking he'd called a foul, but it's definitely for the clash of heads.
Yes, Mr. Maloney's been a lot busier this half, hasn't he? He's had a lot to contend with. He's getting yelled at from the coaches, and he's having yellow cards come out of his pocket and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it, now 3 yellows we've seen so far? I know Solorio and I'm forgetting who the other one was. Oh, Vigil got the one very, very early for dissent, and then Solorio the one for a foul. Ninkovic a few moments ago. It's Sierra Rosemont coming off here after that clash. It'll be Callista Rubel to replace her. Scoreboard clock, both on DVC Vikings Live and here at Vikings Field, have both come to a stop, and we are in the hands of Dwight Maloney as Rosemont will come off the pitch.
Yep. She seems in some discomfort here, so obviously she got hit pretty good there.
Yeah. Oh. Well, you know exactly what happened now. Field mics are a wonderful thing sometimes. But I like to use the old Kenny Mayne thing and say, Sierra, she'll be okay. She's a hockey player. If not in reality, certainly in spirit.
Yeah, she's a tough kid. I'm sure she'll be back out there before we know it, but that's going to hurt if you get somebody's head in your face. That's never going to be pleasant, that's for sure.
No, it's suboptimal. Vikings in possession here. They've had a little bit of joy through Trujillo after a very rough period on either side of halftime. But before too long, we'll put the actual competition on hold, and it's going to be time for cake over here as we celebrate Sophomore Day. As we said, might be the last game here at Vikings Field for the season. Might have another one in about 2 weeks' time, but only time will tell on that as Rubel claims the ball over at the right side.
Well, that's good, cake. That's something to look forward to on a Friday, Joe.
Oh yeah, especially after running around for a while.
Yep. Be nice if we get sneak another goal here before this all comes to a close. But I think Mr. Is it McNeil?
Maloney.
Maloney, sorry. Mr. Maloney is going to put some injury time in here. There's been 2 or 3 stoppages, so I'm sure he's very diligent. He's going to add these few moments on.
We will see. A DVC goal. I mean, we've got the cake coming for sure. That would be the icing.
There you go. There we go.
Ball to Sittner here. Diana Ruiz. Yet another battle here where Sittner's got about a foot on the player she's going up against. No problem seeing over the top of the person defending her, but she slides that one straight to Denise Correa, who's going to baseball pass this one. There's no such thing as a baseball pass. Football pass.
Yeah, I got you.
Head and Sofia Lopez Real with
Big
the long
tackle
knock
here.
on and trying to hold it in play, and she does.
Well. She's done really well there to keep that in. She went for it fully committed. And just let them play, ref. Let them play.
Shove from behind there, and she will give he will give the foul there against Jocelyn Rojas Garfias. But
yeah, I don't think so. Again, I'm not seeing that as a foul. It's just coming together. DVC have even got possession. I think just let them play there. I'm not even sure what the foul was, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of going through the back, perhaps. Just a little further to the side, maybe that's a fair shoulder challenge. But I think that was the judgment, at least, for Maloney.
I tell you, hey, we'll take it. It's a free kick in a good position. Can we get a good delivery here?
Well, Callista's got the kind of boot to take this one direct if she decides she wants to.
It's a long way out, so she must be able to crack it if she can hit it from here. I'm not sure I'd even shoot from there, but good luck to her. That's a goal. She's up and under it. Hello.
Floats that over! Just over the top of the crossbar. Thought we had a worldie over here to finish things off, but not to be.
Yeah, I mean, she absolutely has the range there, didn't she? I thought it was too far out for her, but she's really caught hold of that one. And I think if that was actually on target, the goalkeeper's going to be struggling to get to that. 'll win this in the air here. Can they get up and win it? Yeah, well done.
Sofia Lopez Real winning the header against Taylor Sittner, but did so with apparently an elbow in the back.
No, sounds a good header to me. I'm going to continue to disagree. It's a good header, no problems.
Ninkovic able to get that one away from the onrushing Santa Rosa player. Esquivias keeps it in play, now banked off of a Bear Cub. Rattling around at the far sideline, last touched by Black and Green.
Can't be too long to go here. I would think maybe 5 minutes at the most. What do you think, Joe?
Something around there. That one's going to rattle around. Correa comes out and claims it. A bit of an awkward attempt to punch it home by the onrushing player Solorio, but Correa will get to it.
Yeah, it's a good job she's got hold of that because it was bouncing around dangerously. She needed to get her gloves on that one and carry on. But here's Lopez Real again.
Yeah, Trujillo will drop that back to Soph.
Doing great. Go on,
tiptoes
keep
the
going,
sideline, keeps it in the challenge, and a foul whistled, and it looks like it might, in fact, be another yellow card.
Yeah, why? I don't understand. Why is he giving the yellow card for that?
And that's, in fact, a Solorio. That's going to be a second, I think, if that's her.
What's he?
Or is that 10?
I don't understand what's going on
No,
here.
correction, that's 17. That's Gergering.
She's knocked it round. They've run after the ball. She's even got the ball, and we've pulled it back, and a yellow card and a free kick. I think we could have got the cross in there. I'm not entirely sure what he saw, but okay. No one said it was easy being a referee.
Yellow card shown in stoppage time to Kaya Gargaring, number 17.
Yeah, I think the Santa Rosa coach is also wondering what the yellow card was for us as we...
I
think we all are, to be honest with you.
Well, to be fair, we couldn't see. Maybe there was a tug of the jersey. I'm not sure, but that... Yeah, so that...
Yeah, there wasn't much in it. But anyway, it's a good opportunity for a free kick and a chance to... Oh, hello. Go on, get ahead on that. Go ahead.
Oh, right to the keeper inside the 6, Dorothy Nickel.
It'd have been nice to see her a DVC player have a little run and try and go and head that. It was in the air for an awfully long time, and you want to see someone go run and try and jump with the goalkeeper and make it at least difficult to catch it, you know.
Alina Rodriguez claims that at the center circle. Vikings working it back and forth on the right side, trying to find Trujillo up the wing. Nothing doing. Rodriguez keeps it in play. Steps around one defender, but the ball out. And we'll go to Santa Rosa, and I think that will indeed be all she wrote. So we come to an end here. 5-1 your final score. Trujillo with the gol de la bandiera, as they call it in Italy, the goal for the flag, the one for the supporters who made the trip out. And we do have a nice presence of DVC fans here at the Vike, and we're going to go ahead and tie a bow on this one for them right here. Once I find my script. There we go.
Go for it.
That's all this afternoon, folks. Your final scores: Santa Rosa 5, DVC 1. A hat trick for Taylor Gandy in the 41st, 49th, and 54th minute. Goals on either side of that for Shea Doherty in the 24th and Olivia Honstein in the 43rd. Vikings get the gol de la bandiera at the end. Casey Trujillo in the 76th. Vikings fans, we thank you for attending today's game. DVC are next in action next Friday in the first round of the Big 8 tournament, when they will be on the road against one of the top 2 seeds for a quarterfinal. If you can't make the trip to Rockland, Folsom, or Santa Rosa, you can listen live on DVC Vikings Live Radio on the DVC Athletics YouTube page. 2 further matches will follow, win or lose the week after, so keep an eye on DVCVikings.com, your source for all things green and white, to find out when, where, and how to follow your Vikings. Elsewhere in DVC Athletics this week, men's water polo is hosting the NorCal crossover at Rick Millington Pool, and they'll be facing off with Cabrillo in mere moments in their last tune-up for next week's Big 8 tournament, also set to be hosted here in Pleasant Hill Thursday through Saturday. Volleyball and football are both on the road this weekend. Jackie Ponciano Babs women tipping off against Cosumnes River in about an hour, and Jimmy Collins men looking to build a winning run in Los Altos Hills Saturday afternoon when they visit Foothill. We thank you again for your support all season of DVC Women's Soccer. We hope you'll stick around and join us for Sophomore Day festivities here on the playing field in just a few minutes. Thank you. All right, and with those festivities at an end, we'll go ahead and get our graphics off of here and take a moment again to show our happy faces, or at the very least our faces. It was a rough day at the office here, Alex Lobbin, but again, better to share it with somebody. Misery loves company, and so does celebrating goals even at the very, very end and celebrating your sophomores.
Yeah, it was a good game. You've got to give it to Santa Rosa here. They've got to be proud of coming all this way and getting 5 goals on the road. Not easy, but they're a good team. They're going to go far in the competition. I think at least second half we got a goal to put a smile on our faces, and that was about all there was to be happy about today, other than this cake we're going to have in a moment, Joe.
Yeah, cake is good. Carbs absolutely necessary. You got to refuel after that. 14, 15 Vikings running around at top speed for the better part of 90 minutes chasing the women in pink. Santa Rosa, of course, they've got next up on Tuesday the big match with Sierra that is likely to decide the number 1 seed, and that team is likely to be the one hosting DVC next Friday in the first round of the Big 8 tournament. Until then, for Alex Lobbin, who again, just delighted to have you with us once again, and everybody else who makes DVC Vikings Live possible, this is Joe Hickey wishing you dreams of green. Till next time, so long.